are ready to go, ready to kick this game off. 2 changes for them from the 4-2 defeat, which featured some fairly calamitous defending at home against the Netherlands on Friday night. Long ball over the top, could catch Northern Ireland out here. Stuart Dallas is back there, just manages to hook a clearance away. Corey Evans with a little flick on. Paddy McNair gets onto it, and his pass up the right-hand side is blocked by Tony Kroos. That, Stephen, was just one simple long ball over the top. Northern Ireland very, very nearly got caught out in the opening minute of the game. That was the concern, Mark. You know, of course, Michael will want to be aggressive. He wants to, you know, press as much as he can. But you've got to do it in a sensible manner. Johnny Evans was coming out. Craig Cathcart was dropping off. So they just have to be in the same wavelength. Manuel Neuer is decked out in all dark red. He's way outside his penalty area. We've seen that somewhere before. Clearing with his right foot downfield. Headed back towards the halfway line by Timo Werner. Northern Ireland have it, though, in their left-back position with young Jamal Lewis of Norwich City. Shrugs off the challenge of Gnabry, digs his left foot underneath the ball, floats a lovely pass down the touchline towards Niall McGinn. He skips infield, and then George Saville is barged over, but play actually had already stopped because the referees, an Italian referee this evening, Daniele Orsarto, had said the ball had gone out for a throw-in. Bouncing ball inside the German half, and Kimmich is fouled by Saville. Number 6 against number 6. Free kick for Germany. So Northern Ireland have Bailey, Peacock-Farrell in goal. Now of Burnley, but has not made a first-team appearance for them this season. Last season at Leeds has started all 4 qualifiers in this group. Back 4 is Stuart Dallas. Right back, Jamal Lewis at left back, as Manuel Neuer clears under a little bit of pressure inside his own penalty area. We're going to see plenty of that from Germany in this game, playing out from the back. Craig Cathcart and Johnny Evans, so crucial, so important to Northern Ireland's chances tonight as the centre-back pairing. Stephen Davis, Paddy McNair and George Saville in front of them, and then Corey Evans starting wide on the right-hand side, Niall McGinn on the left, and Connor Washington playing through the middle. Matthias Ginter, one of the German centre-backs, clears with his right foot. Good work from Stephen Davis. The pass goes astray. Davis gets it back. He's tackled by Royce, and the ball goes out for a Northern Ireland throw on the left. And after that early scare, Stephen, actually Northern Ireland have settled quite nicely here. Well, they're pressing high, Alistair, and I think when you have numbers around the ball, you can do that. You've got to be careful you don't go in 1s and 2s. There's 4s and 5s going and pressing. They're spending a little bit of time in the German half. I think it was back here in October 2017. They conceded a goal after 2 minutes against Germany. You can't do that. Stay in the game as long as you possibly can. Don't give them any encouragement, and there's a positivity in the stadium. Give you the German team in a second. Northern Ireland have won another throw-in on the left-hand side. Jamal Lewis gets ready to take. And he is starting to settle very nicely into international football. For so long, Chris Brunt would have filled that left wing back role, but now it is young Jamal Lewis. Chance for Northern Ireland to get a cross into the Germany penalty area. McNair's right foot, the cross is blocked. Northern Ireland win the first corner of the game. Quickly the German team for you then. Manuel Neuer in goal. The full-backs both play their club football for Leipzig, both winning their 4th caps this evening. Lucas Klostermann and Marcel Halstenberg, who's coming to the side. Ginter and Niklas Süle of Bayern Munich are the centre-backs. Tony Kroos, Joshua Kimmich and Julian Brandt as a midfield 3. And real pace up front from Werner, Gnabry and Royce. So let's see how Germany deal with this first set piece. Well, that's disappointing. Low cross into the near post. Easy for Kimmich to volley away towards the German fans. Probably less than 1,000 of them. But they're packed in tightly in that left-hand corner of the North Stand. And loads of German flags brought in by them. When the teams came marching out, this lovely just pocket. It was just all black, red and yellow flags away in that corner. Northern Ireland from the throw-in have possession again. Stephen Davis goes jinking down the left-hand side, trying to win a throw by knocking the ball into Kimmich's legs, but the last touch came off Davis. And so Germany have a throw in their right-back position. And you have to almost try and take the Germans out of their stride. You know, you can't let them settle, you can't knock them, let them knock the ball about. You've got to be aggressive. As I say, it's got to be controlled, but when you get a chance to spend time in the ball, you have to do it. Stephen Davis has seen a lot of the ball for Northern Ireland early on. Nice pass from him. Corey Evans trying to launch across into that penalty area. It's blocked. Closed down out for a throw-in on the right. I hope that atmosphere is coming through loud and clear wherever you're listening to us on 5 Live this evening. Really does feel like one of those special Windsor Park nights, and this man on my right-hand side, Stephen Craigan, knows all about those, having been in those teams that beat England 1-0 in 2005, that beat Spain 3-2 in 2006. Dallas, long throw into the penalty area, flicked on by Saville, volleyed just high and wide by Connor Washington. It was a hopeful strike, stuck out a leg, made decent contact, and Germany are going to go quickly from the restart. Süle gets it from Neuer, played left to Halstenberg. Julian Brandt can't control, so Johnny Evans will have a chance to play it back to his goalkeeper, Bailey Peacock-Farrell, all in orange. Clears with his left foot up the middle of the pitch, headed high in the air by McNair. Another header won by George Saville. McNair really wanted the next one, came flying in and won it. Headed it to his left-hand side. Ball is spending a lot of time in the air at the moment. Johnny Evans heads it forward. Then Stephen Davis with a high volleyed pass into the German half. Gnabry underneath it. It's about 7-8 headers and volleys in a row. Saville steps in, wins it back for Northern Ireland. Lewis fires it into the feet of Connor Washington. Washington on the turn and the dribble has given the ball away. Gnabry plays back towards the German penalty area. Neuer on the edge of his 6-yard box just takes a touch, skip and a jump, and calmly knocks his pass away and finds Kimmich in central midfield. Tony Kroos gets a touch. It's a little layoff to Süle. Germany have gone to a flat back four this evening. They played the 3 against the Netherlands. Chance for Northern Ireland. Connor Washington with the chipped effort. Neuer closed it down so quickly and blocked it with his left hand. Cross in from McNair towards the far post. This time is volleyed away by Klosterman. What a chance for Connor Washington, and now trouble for Northern Ireland because Germany are coming at them on the break. Julian Brandt has options left and right. He finds Werner on his left-hand side. Werner's curler is blocked. Cathcart blocks it. Johnny Evans clears. End-to-end stuff. It is 0-0 at the moment between Northern Ireland and Germany. Let's get our first update from Hampden Park. Here's Roddy Forsyth.
We're almost 6 minutes in. Scotland do encouraging starts. They did it on Friday. They're doing it here. First sign of that we got was when Christie sent Claire Robertson, a driven cross into the arms of Courtois. But just a few moments ago, Robert Snodgrass back in the side after a fair exile, winning Scotland's first corner kick with a shot from just beyond the box. Pat Nevin, a good start.
Very good start indeed, but we're used to that. We're not going to get too carried away yet. However, most of the possession of Scotland just now, and even bigger news, this place is filled up. There's a good noise in here.
Definitely more than half full. Scoreless still though.
Plenty more from Roddy and Pat during the commentary of Northern Ireland Germany tonight. What a chance for Connor Washington, Stephen Craigan.
It's as if he didn't expect it to come, Ali. He wasn't prepared for the ball, but that's what you get when you press high. Even the good sides, you put them under pressure, you can nick it. It was a glorious opportunity. 1v1 inside the 18-yard box. His first touch, he just couldn't get over Neuer, and that's why he's one of the world's best. But a really encouraging start.
Yeah, Neuer came off his line fast, made himself extremely big. Washington went for the chip finish, and Neuer managed to get his left hand to it. Halstenberg won't quite catch that ball down the left-hand side from Kimmich. Huge roars from the Northern Ireland fans as it goes out for a throw-in in their right-back position. So first really good chance of the game has gone to Northern Ireland. As Stephen was saying, these two teams were drawn against each other in World Cup qualifying for Russia 2018. Germany won both of the games, 3-1 here and 2-0 in Hanover, and both times Northern Ireland were 2-0 down within 20 minutes. Didn't really give themselves a chance. 8 minutes in, 0-0, and they should really be 1-0 ahead. But the way that Germany knock it around at the back, and there's another example, you do feel that Northern Ireland might be able to pounce on the odd mistake this evening.
I mean, it's a harsh thing to say. They look a little bit nervous round the back, but they're taking the ball off Neuer, they're knocking it sideways. They're almost looking for someone to come and take the ball off and make it happen. So that's when you've got to pounce. You have numbers round the ball, go and nick it. It's been a really good setup. Joachim Löw is taking charge of his 177th game in his 13th year in charge of the national team for Germany, which is some record. World Cup winner in 2004, 14, I beg your pardon. The World Cup after that wasn't quite so successful, and under a little bit of pressure this evening, having lost that game to the Netherlands at home on Friday night. Paddy McNair's done well for Northern Ireland, holding the ball up under pressure, and has won a throw on the right-hand side. And Joachim Löw is just feeling a little bit of the chill this evening because he's sitting there in his suit, just like Michael O'Neill, but he's got a thick, looks cashmere-like to me, grey scarf tied tightly around his neck. Throw in for Northern Ireland. Now, the last one of these
caused a bit of consternation in that German defence. Dallas's throw in, better header away. Kroos with a first-time pass to Royce. Royce lays it off to Julian Brandt, and Gnabry's going like the clappers down the right-hand side. But Jamal Lewis is quick too. He read that well, and he came in, got the ball back to Peacock-Farrell, who's cleared with his left foot, and it's out for a German throw. Stephen.
That's 2 or 3 times, Alistair, that the Germans have won the ball on the edge of their own box. Their pace in the counter-attack is a threat. So whenever Northern Ireland attack and they commit men forward, they have to be careful. They've got to keep switched on.
Goal at Hampden Park, Roddy.
Who do you think might have scored it for Belgium? Yep, if you've gone with Romelu Lukaku, you got it right. It was a stunning break. It came actually from a Scottish set piece, and it was broken down the Belgian left with a quite magnificent sweeping move. Kevin De Bruyne placing the ball to Lukaku, who was all on his own about 12 yards out, and simply placed the ball beyond David Marshall and Pat Nevin. That's the worst possible start.
It is. Scotland gets us a little bit too excited, put too many players up front. The ball is played by Mertens through to De Bruyne, and for a millisecond I thought, will he play the right pass? And then I thought, get that stupid idea out of your mind. Of course he's going to play the right pass. He did. Lukaku finished 1-0.
Scotland
no
0,
shock.
Belgium 1.
Wow, big intake of breath here at Windsor Park, because Nicholas Sula's just played a very risky pass across the face of his own penalty area. Connor Washington nearly got onto it. Northern Ireland won the ball again high up the field. So Scotland 0, Belgium 1. Cyprus 1 up at San Marino at the moment. Here's Stuart Dallas for Northern Ireland. Back to McNair, wants to get that cross in early towards the far post, headed away by Klosterman. Gnabry let that go because he thought Julian Brandt was going to get there first, and he didn't. Here's McNair on the right. Gnabry in to win the tackle, and the ball is out for a Northern Ireland throw on the right. 11 minutes played, so Scotland 1-0 down at home. Don't forget, because of winning their Nations League group, they are guaranteed, at the very least, a playoff, or a couple of playoff games if they can win the first one, for a chance to get themselves to Euro 2020. Northern Ireland don't have that luxury, having finished bottom of their Nations League group. But they're playing pretty well here, Stephen. They've won another free kick on the right-hand side. And interesting to watch McNair there. When he got that ball on the right, he didn't even think twice. He just thought, let's get that cross into the penalty area.
I think that's the key to it. Once you get into the final third, rather than trying to play extra passes and overplay in the final, put it into the box, go and put them under pressure, see if you can get something from them, make them defend, put some doubt in their mind. This is a great opportunity for Parody. Put a wonderful ball in here as well.
Michael O'Neill is shouting some instructions onto the field just in case Germany are able to clear quickly from this free kick. Neuer comes out and punches ahead of Johnny Evans. They knock into each other. Johnny Evans is slightly hurt. McNair tries to get another cross in from the right-hand side. Now he's on the dribble. He's not going to be able to beat Klosterman there, though. Neuer comes way off his line to try and help Klosterman out. He's miles out of position, and Germany have given the ball away. Johnny Evans won it, but he's then passed it straight to Gnabry, and Germany have it inside their own half, on the left. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. Here's Süle. Süle across to the left-back, Halstenberg, into the feet of Brandt. Brandt with a little cushioned layoff to Kimmich. Kimmich curling his ball, trying to knock it in behind Stuart Dallas. Dallas stretches and clears. Northern Ireland pick up the pieces in midfield, and then Stephen Davis over the top quickly to Washington, who is well marshalled there. It might run to McGinn. Süle gets there first, sticks out a left leg and knocks it away for a Northern Ireland throw, but Germany are under pressure.
And I'm really liking our energy. Steve Davis is breaking, Corey Evans is getting about the pitch, Paddy McNair's up and down, now and again's going from left to right, so they're really rolling with the crowd. When you get a full house in here, you have to keep them with you. You've got to give them something to shout about, and the players are responding.
Stuart Dallas waiting to take the throw. He can't take it just yet because there is another ball on the field, and Julian Brandt, with the bright blonde hair, slowly marches over to knock it off the pitch and just gives Germany a little more time to organise themselves. Throw-in comes into the area. Süle is a big centre-back. He wins the header. Corey Evans can't keep it in play for Northern Ireland, and so Germany have a throw on the left. Joachim Löw comes out to the side of the pitch for the first time this evening, and as well as the luxuriant grey scarf and the smart suit, it's a rather trendy pair of trainers to complete the look as well. I always think he's got a little bit of Severus Snape about him from the Harry Potter novels and films as well, with that sweeping jet black hair. Anyway, he's come out and made his point. Germany have the ball. Kimmich floats the pass away to the right-hand side. Played back into midfield for Germany. Kimmich through the middle trying to find Royce. Intercepted, but Kimmich will get another go. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. The whistling and the jeering and the booing at the moment is just for German possession. It's just the Northern Ireland fans really getting stuck into the game and trying to make the atmosphere as hostile as possible for their visitors. Ginter now with a floated ball over the top behind Evans. Timo Werner's made a clever run. He's picked it up on the right. Plays it back to Klosterman. Gnabry has dropped deep, the former Arsenal man in his bright pink boots. Little 1-2 playing back to Schüller. Again, continued booing and whistling tells you that Germany are having a lot of possession at this particular stage of the game. Noise levels increasing. Northern Ireland quite happy to hold Germany here though on the halfway line. Kroos finds Kimmich. Kimmich looks up, just slides a short pass to his right. Ginter with a bit more pace on the ball to Klosterman. Lovely build-up from the Germans here. Brandt into the feet of Gnabry. Gnabry on the turn, looking for Royce, couldn't quite get there, and Stuart Dallas is able to step in, and Northern Ireland eventually win themselves a free kick just outside the penalty area. I think we're heading to Cardiff for our first update of the evening. Wales playing Belarus. Juliette Farrington is watching this one.
Where it's 0-0, but Wales looking comfortable. Harry Wilson with the only shot we've seen so far. It was at the keeper after the ball was laid on by Joe Allen. Allen couldn't get onto it on the rebound. That was 7 minutes into the game. As I say, the first shot of the match. Allen felt he was brought down in the penalty area, but Willie Collum, the Scottish match official, disagreed. He's in charge of the game tonight, but that's the only bit of decent goalmouth action we've seen so far. 0-0.
Remind you, Azerbaijan won, Croatia won in Wales's group earlier on today. Hungary-Slovakia is underway. As far as I'm aware, that is 0-0. Estonia-Netherlands is a game in this group we'll be keeping an eye on as well. And again, that one 0-0 at the moment. Belgium one up early on at Hampden Park with a goal from Romelu Lukaku. So Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. Manuel Neuer on the ball inside his own penalty area. Green shirts start closing in. Neuer won't panic. That's not the best pass, though. Not enough pace on that. And Washington again just had a little sniff of getting to that. Ginter is able to clear. Not the best pass forward from him. Jamal Lewis is thinking about going all the way back to his goalkeeper. He doesn't. Germany now have won the ball high up. Chance here for them to take the lead. Timo Werner comes bursting into the penalty area. Low cross, and Craig Cathcart knocks it behind for a corner. A goal in Cardiff. Juliette.
And it's gone to Wales. They lead Belarus by a 0-0. And guess who scored it? Dan James. He just can't stop scoring right now. Gareth Bale, we saw a shot of him smiling on the bench. The ball laid on by Johnny Williams. James curls the ball into the far corner. 1-0 Wales lead.
Corner for Germany. Northern Ireland there rather unnecessarily and sloppily giving away possession. Luckily Cathcart was in position to clear the cross. Corner comes in, volleyed away by Cathcart to enormous cheers and roars from these home fans, and Corey Evans goes bravely in for a bouncing ball with Kimmich. Could easily have been a clash of heads there. Jamal Lewis quickly over the top, won't find Washington, and Germany will have a chance to play out again. They're not going to go back to Neuer this time though. It's the left-back Marcel Halstenberg who comes steaming forward. Kimmich plays a quick 1-2 with Brandt. Across to Halstenberg. Stephen Davis closes in. Brandt saw him coming. Plays it back to Schüller. Schüller across the halfway line towards Kimmich, who seems to have so much time. Just chips a delightful little pass to the right. Volleyed cross in from Klosterman. Finds Brandt, who's mid-air trying to control it on the volley. Can't do that. And Peacock-Farrell grabs it. Stephen Craig, what have you made of the first 18 minutes or so here?
Well, the Germans are starting to settle now. You know, you can't press all the time. I said at the start of the game, you've got to pick and choose your moments. With a good opening 13, 14 minutes, but listen, the Germans are a good side. They move the ball well, but Johnny Evans just has to be careful. You know, they're going to put you under pressure. If you dwell in possession or take too many touches, they're going to take it off you.
In terms of concentration levels, Stephen, you'll know exactly what that has got to be like for Johnny Evans and Craig Cathcart tonight against this pace and this movement.
I always felt that was the biggest test in international football. You've got to stay switched on, you've got to concentrate. Sometimes you don't touch the ball, but it's about moving, it's about filling gaps, it's about speaking to each other, communicating with players beside you, in front of you, so that's key.
Schüller with a pass back to Neuer. Again, didn't quite have enough on it. It gave Washington a chance. Ginter clears with his right foot. No one there for Germany. Johnny Evans intercepts. The Netherlands have gone one up away to Estonia. No great surprise that. Ryan Babel has scored the goal. So the Netherlands with a win tonight would move to 9 points. They have a game in hand on these two teams, Northern Ireland and Germany as well. That is brilliantly worked by McNair and Dallas down the right-hand side. Dallas's ball into the near post. Kimmich comes sliding in. Fabulous defending that at full stretch. Cleared by Schüller. Werner jumps with Cathcart, and he's fouled him. No, he's offside. Free kick given against Germany for offside. So Northern Ireland will get a chance to reset. I love the thing you told me as well last night, Stephen, ahead of the Spain game, when you were walking on the pitch before the game. What did David Healy say to you, who scored a hat-trick that night?
Yeah, well, we'd actually just lost on the Saturday against Iceland 3-0, and he said to me walking out, I feel something special's going to happen. Little did I know he was going to score a hat-trick. I told him to catch himself on, actually, but... Yeah,
famous David.
Well, I said to you last night as well, I really feel something tonight.
Yeah.
There's been an atmosphere amongst the squad, I think the country. I really feel a big performance, and to be fair, up until the 20 minutes, we've started really well. Yeah,
good start for Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. If they are going to finish in the top 2 in this group, they are going to have to try and, well, not going to have to try, they're going to have to take some points from 2 of the world's best footballing nations. Germany here, and the 2 games they've got coming against the Netherlands as well. Stephen Davis with the free kick. That's flicked on by Washington. Blocked on the edge of the area. This is where Northern Ireland have got to be careful, because Marco Reus immediately on the move. Finds Werner on the left-hand side. Gets away from Dallas. 2 or 3 white shirts go streaming up the right-hand side of the pitch. Gnabry with a little pass around the corner here to Reus on his right foot. Tries to get the shot away. Almost comes back to him. Kroos takes a touch 25 yards from goal. Turns. Plays it back to Kimmich. Kimmich goes wide here to Halstenberg. Halstenberg gets his cross into the area. Oh, is that going to be a handball? The shot came from Brandt. The referee had a good view. It smashed the defender on the arm. Was it Johnny Evans? I mean, there wasn't much he could do about it because it came so fast. But in the Champions League and certainly in the Euro qualifiers, we've seen those given.
He's actually tucked his arm across his chest, and we can see it there. The ball has hit his hand. His hand's on his chest. There was a Scottish referee, Bobby Madden, give one against Finland. I think they played Italy on Friday night. If he had that decision, he'd have given a penalty kick.
So, Germany have those claims to the penalty turned away. But here they come again. Brandt down the left-hand side. Dallas dives in to try and win the challenge. Can't do it. Brandt's little ball back to Werner. Whole mash of bodies in the penalty. Kimmich hits that hard straight into the face of George Saville. Incredibly brave defending that. Kimmich's volley, Saville came flying out at him, and he took a full volley, I think right in the face there, and it's poleaxed him, and it's knocked him out on the edge of the box. He's flooding his back. His teammates are trying to turn him over, and that last couple of minutes, there's been real danger for Northern Ireland there.
They're just so quick in the final third. They move the ball ever so well, side to side. They feed it in the gaps. That's why out of possession, Northern Ireland have to be compact. If you allow them time in the final third, Alistair, they'll pose you problems. I
think the referee there, Stephen, I think you're right, has made a really good decision, because what confused me when I first saw it is Johnny Evans' left arm is away from his body and his right arm is tucked into his body, and the ball hits his right arm, his right elbow, which is right in front of his body. So he's not made himself unnaturally bigger there. And actually, credit to the referee, it happened fast. He did take a couple of seconds to make the decision, thought about it, and then explained it. And I think he's got that spot on.
Well, as a former player, absolutely, but there's some referees are just giving penalties every time it hits a hand in the box, irrespective of where your hand is, on your body, on your head, down at your side. They're giving penalty kicks. So I mean, if the referee had given that, I'd have been furious. But I think you're right, he's got the call spot on.
George Saville is back on his feet, and he's okay, which is good news for Northern Ireland. Back to Hampden Park, Roddy Forsyth.
Well, we're midway through the first half. It's still Scotland 0, Belgium 1. That Lukaku goal separating the sides, and there might have been another one for him when the Donker chipped into the box. Lukaku flicked off the outside of his left boot and just over the top. At the moment, though, the game relatively even, except for that inconvenient goal. It's Scotland 0, Belgium 1.
Thank you, Roddy. George Saville actually came running onto the pitch in the wrong position. He didn't realise he had to get all the way back to the halfway line. So Northern Ireland are down to 10 men at the moment, and the referee is going to give an uncontested drop ball here. Germany will get it and play it back to the halfway line. So Germany have just upped it in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Scotland 1 down at home against Belgium. The Netherlands 1 up away to Estonia. Wales leading Belarus by a goal to 0 in the friendly. That goal came from Daniel James, and big roars here from the Northern Ireland fans because there's a misplaced pass that was heading out towards the left wing, and Marcel Halstenberg, he couldn't catch it, and it's gone out for a Northern Ireland throw. 0-0. Stuart Dallas is taking his time. He's just going to wipe his brow first of all. Holds the ball high above his head. George Saville is now back out on the pitch. Dallas, really long throw down that right-hand side, reaches the halfway line. Ginter with a half volley back upfield. Timo Werner's layoff cleared by Northern Ireland. Paddy McNair underneath it. His header is slightly loose. Kimmich again controlling things for Germany in central midfield. Comes across to Gnabry. Gnabry wide to the right back Klosterman. Kimmich again. Pacier pass diagonally across the face of the Northern Ireland penalty area. And that's going to go out for a Northern Ireland throw. Another goal at Hampden Park, Roddy.
Bad news. It's Thomas Vermaelen who's got it. Belgium are now leading by 2-0. It was a short corner which was almost broken up by the Scottish captain Robertson, but Belgium worked it into the box, and it was basically three players lining up, of which Vermaelen got his boot to take it away from David Marshall. It's Belgium leading by 2-0 here at Hampden Park.
Our producer George has just shown me an amusing little tweet from Rafa Honigstein, German journalist, who is very often on these airways on 5 Live, and he's just said Ginter, the centre-back, Ginter's hoofballs drive me crazy. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. Stephen Craigan.
I tell you what, he wouldn't have enjoyed watching me playing then. That's for sure. Yeah. But listen, that's what Northern Ireland have to do. They have to turn it into an uncomfortable evening for Germany. They can't allow them to settle. They want them to play long balls because it suits our style of play. Johnny's aggressive, Craig Cathcart's aggressive. So if we sit off and let them pass, it's easy. We can't allow that.
Gnabry into midfield for Germany, receives the pass from Halstenberg, who then plays a second pass and finds Brandt in space. And again, it's so fluid when they come forward, Germany. The ball just very quickly shipped on from player to player. Royce back in field here. Kimmich across to Toni Kroos. Kroos working it onto his right foot. Floats the diagonal ball to Klosterman. Volleyed first time pass into the penalty area. Werner shot on the turn. Oh, takes a deflection just wide of the post. And the referee awards a corner. They're appealing for a penalty again, Germany there, because they're saying it struck an arm. It was a well-hit shot from Werner. Peacock-Farrell had gone down to make the save, and for a second I thought the deflection was going to creep into the bottom corner. It's hit Cathcart on the arm. Cathcart's arm this time is away from his body. I would say it's in a natural position. Is that one a penalty, Stephen?
I think it's not. I think the referee's got it spot on again. You know, his hands at his side. Naturally, it's slightly off the hip.
Corner for Germany, swung in, dangerous ball to the far post, 2 of them waiting there. Schüller was there and Brandt was there, and neither of them could stick the ball home, and Peacock-Farrell just dived down, slapped it away, and Jamal Lewis has got there just in time. So Northern Ireland in the last 7-8 minutes have been living very, very dangerously here, giving the ball away again. George Saville in with the challenge, and Germany are stepping things up.
They are. We're too open. You know, there's too many gaps for the Germans to play, and they're moving the ball too well. Maybe at times we're playing too high. You know, if you haven't got the ball, don't be frightened to drop off and defend your 18-yard box, because if they have lots of space to run into, Toni Kroos is moving the ball very well, Kimmich is moving the ball very well. You've just got to stay switched on.
Do remember the amazing game that Michael McGovern had in goal for Northern Ireland at Euro 2016, when Germany eventually won at the Parc des Princes by 1-0. But were it not for the performance of McGovern, that could have been a really big number. And you just feel maybe Bailey Peacock-Farrell this evening, he's got down and made his first save there at the far post, is going to have to do something similar as Germany start to just step on the gas a little bit in this first half. But it's still 0-0. Northern Ireland have won the ball back on the halfway line. George Saville steps in, but Ginter's beaten him to it. Halstenberg goes battling with Dallas for a high bouncing ball on the left. Werner's pass intercepted by Dallas, and he's had 2 or 3 nibbles at Dallas's ankles there, and he's fouled him, and that's a free kick for Northern Ireland. England's under-21s lead Kosovo by 1-0. Phil Foden has scored for England. Kosovo, by the way, tomorrow. Full commentary from the St Mary's Stadium in Southampton. Kosovo on a really good unbeaten run at the moment in international football. England lead them in the group by a point. Full commentary here on 5 Live tomorrow night. McGinn's ball looking for Washington on the edge of the German penalty area. Cleared by the visitors. Gnabry tried to trick his way out on the right-hand side. Saville read it well, slid in, and has conceded the throw. But we're almost at the half-hour mark, Stephen, and Northern Ireland, I think, have done pretty well. Although the last 10 minutes have been slightly concerning. Listen,
they've certainly held their own. That was interesting. You spoke about Billy Peacock-Farrell in goal. You need that when you play one of the top nations. Your goalkeeper's got to be in form. You've got to ride your luck at times. You need big decisions to go for you. So far, so good. Yeah, a couple of handball appeals have been turned down. We think they've both been the correct decisions by the referee. Gnabry's been tackled 25 yards from goal. Washington's the only player forward for Northern Ireland.
McGinn couldn't pick him out with the pass. Kimmich floats another one forward. Cathcart heads it away. Werner's quickly onto that, nods it down into the Northern Ireland penalty area. Johnny Evans read that well, heads it to the right. Paddy McNair just gives it a hoof downfield. Washington up against Schüller, tries to turn him. Schüller just stabs the ball back to Neuer. Neuer with a clever little disguise there, was looking right and passed the ball left. And Germany are able to play out from the back again. Toni Kroos is waving players forward. Plays a short pass into the feet of Dortmund's Julian Brandt. Across to Bayern's Joshua Kimmich. Now to the right-hand side, and Ginter. Apart from Connor Washington, every single Northern Ireland player behind the ball inside their own half. Bit of space for Halstenberg on the left-hand side. He chests this down. Stuart Dallas approaches, so he gets his pass away, and then Kroos is too quick for Corey Evans, who flicks a leg out, fouls Kroos, and that is a free kick to Germany. Talking England-Kosovo, by the way. The England manager you'll be hearing from at half-time here on 5 Live. Gareth Southgate has been talking to John Murray, so that is on its way for you in 15 minutes or so. Scotland are 2-0 down at home to Belgium. Here it's Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0, and Dan James has scored for Wales against Belarus in the friendly in Cardiff. Schüller running from right to left with the ball for Germany. Kroos doesn't really feel he has an option forward there, under pressure from Corey Evans, so he comes back into the Germany half. Ginter collects it from him. 3 green shirts just hovering there on the halfway line, saying to Ginter, go on, I dare you to play that pass, and he didn't. He's got it again now, and a right football forward is no good, and chested down by Jamal Lewis, who in turn finds Stephen Davis, who takes a touch and plays it to Lewis. Lewis is closed down very quickly there. It's just a white mass of shirts suddenly gathered around him, and the ball is out for a Germany throw. Gnabry. Ball again is played back into the German defence. Ginter slightly loses concentration. It runs through his legs, and he plays it across to Schüller. Schüller forward to Kimmich. Kimmich back to Schüller, who's just at a very gentle jog at the moment. Floats that right-footed chip pass down the middle. Johnny Evans calls to Cathcart to leave it. He heads it away. Nice little turn here from Corey Evans, and he's offside. Connor Washington released by the pass. Assistant referee thought about it for a second, but when Washington got to the ball, up the flag went. That was a shame.
I just wonder, could Corey Evans have played the pass a little bit earlier? You know, Connor had already made his run. He could backtrack on it, but you can see the running prowess of Connor Washington. He's a strong runner. He's willing to run in behind, so if they can get him 1v1, he's certainly got the pace. Stephen
Craigan, former Northern Ireland international, with us on 5 Live tonight. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. Peacock-Farrell very confidently taking a touch inside his own 6-yard box. Royce closed in, and then Farrell's got a really good left boot on him, clears it a long way downfield. Germany trying to play out from their own half again, and Ginter just gone for a first-time pass right down the middle of the pitch. Royce was coming back from an offside position, so he couldn't challenge for it. And Peacock-Farrell again with that left foot has hit a monster too far downfield over the head of Ginter. And Germany will have a chance to rebuild. As you'd expect before the game on the big screens, they were trying to get the crowd going. We had some good action replays of the famous Northern Ireland wins in the 1980s against what was then West Germany, but they managed to beat them home and away in the same qualifying group, and still, unfortunately, didn't manage to qualify for the tournament. Another goal at Hampden Park, ready for sight.
I wish you wouldn't sound so gleeful to hear who scored it, because it's a one-way traffic, I'm afraid. And this time it's Alderweireld with a header from a corner kick that smacked off the bottom of the crossbar and was judged by the far side assistant to have crossed the line. Scotland are now 3 goals down. Pat Nevin, not only is there no way back from this, it's only a matter of how many.
It could be very, very ugly indeed. Every time they attack, they look as if they're going to score. They could have scored just a few moments before that as well, when Dundonker missed a perfectly easy and simple chance. At the moment, the most difficult thing for Scotland is stopping Kevin De Bruyne. He has been unbelievable tonight. Had he not been injured during last season, he would have been in the running for the World Player of the Year. I'll tell you what, he may be this year.
Scotland 0, Belgium 3. I hope all the home goals tonight are going for you.
Thank you, Roddy. That doesn't sound too good at Hampden Park, but Belgium obviously an incredibly talented side. 5 wins out of 5 before tonight, heading for 6 out of 6. Evans with a flick on here for Northern Ireland on the edge of the Germany penalty area. Wins another header, nods it down to Paddy McNair. McNair's first time cross on the half volley is cleared. Stephen Davis is first there for Northern Ireland. Corey Evans' ball takes a deflection. High boot in the penalty area on McGinn. Referee not interested. Northern Ireland continue to build the attack. Paddy McNair's just overrun it there on the edge of the penalty area. Johnny Evans is out of position and George Saville's got to get back and win it. McNair's in. Saville actually fouls McNair by accident there, and Brandt keeps going down the left-hand side, and Johnny Evans does a fabulous job for his team and his country there to get back and win the ball. Stephen Davis's ball forward, can't find Connor Washington, and the game suddenly is looking very open. Gnabry's on the run down the right-hand side. Jamal Lewis is sticking with him. Gnabry turns away from him. Saville in with the tackle. Schuler's kept going from centre-back. Gnabry's lost it. Schuler's out of position. Stephen Davis hasn't really got anyone to hit downfield. Connor Washington is wide left. He wasn't open. And Stuart Dallas is the preferred choice on the right-hand side. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Good game. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. Brilliant from Corey Evans. Let the ball run through his legs. Turn. Got the pass to Dallas. Low ball in. Washington couldn't get on the end of it. Right across the face of goal. And it's run to McGinn here on the left-hand side. And he's one-on-one with Klosterman. Deep cross to the far post. Too far beyond Corey Evans. But Nicholas Schuler is taking no chances. And he's knocked it behind for a corner, and then I think Matthias Ginter has gone down, so we're going to get a slight stoppage in play. That was a very open passage of play. The bit of defending that Johnny Evans did there, Stephen, was absolutely vital for Northern Ireland.
Well, he started that passage of play, wins the ball, keeps it simple to Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas into Corey Evans, who's in the pitch. Stuart Dallas overlaps on that right-hand side, and I tell you what, a real tantalising ball just along the 6-yard box of Neuer, who couldn't come. Connor Washington couldn't get in the end of it, but again, the atmosphere's up, the crowd are with them, and the players are giving a top performance so far.
What about the penalty shout that Northern Ireland had there? Sort of McGinn was stooping to try and win a header, and it made the boot look high. Would that have been harsh had that been given?
I think so. I think it was more in hope than expectation.
Yeah.
You know, once Niall ducks down and the player's boot comes slightly up, listen, some referees give it. I don't imagine tonight he would have given it because he's been spot on.
I think it's one of those, Stephen. Had it happened outside the penalty area, he might have given it. Are we going to see it again here? We might. Ball comes across the face of the box. McGinn goes down for the header. And it's Klosterman, the right back, who comes with his right. His foot doesn't actually make contact with McGinn's head. He gets to the ball first. Again, I think that's the right call. 0-0. Ginter has got problems with his left shoulder. He is off the field. Germany are down to 10 men at the moment. And he's very slowly making his way around the pitch here, and Joachim Löw looks concerned. He's wondering whether he's going to have to make a change. Germany with the corner to defend. McNair's gone very deep and high towards the far post. Stephen Davis is beaten in the air. Saville, half-volleyed pass, looped out to the right. Paddy McNair controls, immediately gets another cross into the box. That one is easy for Germany to deal with. And again, this could be problems for Northern Ireland. Gnabry. Johnny Evans comes charging back just to stop him in his tracks, slow the momentum of the breakdown. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Northern Ireland are still holding their own. Created a couple of half chances, one really good chance as well for Connor Washington early in the game, which he couldn't quite take. And Germany knocking it around very fluently at the moment in midfield. Ginter is actually holding his left side, his ribs at the moment. Just wondering whether that is going to be that for him. I think it is actually, Stephen. He's off.
I think it's Jonathan Tah is going to come on, isn't it?
Yep.
I've seen him getting called back, so yeah, a change for the Germans before half-time.
One of the players left out, having played in the back three in the 4-2 defeat against the Netherlands. Jonathan Tah of Bayer Leverkusen will come on and slot into this back four. So Germany playing keep ball with 10 men at the moment. Brandt playing back to Kimmich. It comes across to Tony Kroos. Joachim Löw is wondering where on earth is Tah at the moment. Not too much of a problem for Germany because they're attacking down the right. A volleyed first-time cross from Royce is cut out by Johnny Evans. The danger is not clear just yet. Gnabry into the penalty area, onto his left foot. Lays it off to Kimmich, looking for an option. Short pass to his left-hand side. Jonathan Tah is warming up and is ready to go at the next break in play. Interception by Niall McGinn for Northern Ireland. Bobbling pass back from Jamal Lewis. Nasty one for Peacock-Farrell. And Northern Ireland's keeper has sliced it slightly, but he's got it clear. And it's out for a German throw on the right. So big, powerful centre-back. Jonathan Tah is coming on, 23 years old, winning only his 8th cap for Germany. And you think about all those names of superstars no longer playing for the national team, the likes of Boateng and Hummels and Thomas Muller and Mesut Ozil and Mario Gomez that Northern Ireland have come up against in recent years. Timo Werner is dealt with by Johnny Evans inside the box here. Evans clears with his right foot. Just got to keep that concentration up for another, what have we got, 5-6 minutes or so at the back there for Northern Ireland, Stephen.
It's a big spell. You know, this is the spell where, you know, we haven't got the breakthrough, they haven't got the goal, so just make sure we get the half-time at 0-0. You know, the boys have put a lot of effort in, a lot of energy. You know, they've worked ever so hard, they've pressed ever so hard. A slight concern for me is every time we have a set play, they seem to counter-attack on us. That's something Michael's going to have to address at half-time, because you can't keep giving these guys the space that they're getting.
Stephen Craigan with us at Windsor Park on BBC Radio 5 Live. England-Kosovo full commentary tomorrow. Cyprus have a second goal away to San Marino. Poor old Scotland. Stephen, your knowledge of Scottish football, I mean, you know, that's a tough task anyway up against Belgium, but 3-0 down in the first half hour. It's difficult times at the moment for Steve Clarke. Here's Jonathan Tah playing the ball back to Neuer. Neuer stabs the pass away with his right foot. Halstenberg to Schüller, back to Neuer again inside his penalty area. Washington is puffing and panting as he goes chasing him across the box. Tah gets it away to Klosterman, who's fouled by McGinn. I'm sure he was fouled. Yes, he was. Didn't hear the referee's whistle, but he spotted the free kick. And the Northern Ireland fans are on their feet, singing and bouncing. Fantastic sight. And I hope for you back home at the moment, a fantastic sound. Michael O'Neill, face etched in concentration, standing on the sidelines here. His team giving another very good account of themselves so far. Klosterman with the ball on the right for Germany. Now with Kroos. Kroos has quickly switched it to the left, and Brandt on the dribble, lays it off with his right foot. Kroos thought about the shot, switches it from his right foot to his left. Halstenberg with the cross towards the far post. Gnabry nods it down. Saville read it well. Clears away towards the halfway line. Schüller is there to take it for Germany. Gives it to Kroos. More defending for Northern Ireland to do. Timo Werner made a run. He's annoyed he didn't get that pass. He was in a good bit of space there. Marco Reus comes travelling back towards the ball, looking for the 1-2 with Kroos. Kroos goes infield. Northern Ireland have worked that well. Just pressed Germany back towards the halfway line. In Wales's group, Slovakia have taken the lead away to Hungary. Azerbaijan won, Croatia won earlier on today. Paddy McNair and Tony Kroos just involved in a little situation there. Kroos didn't like the challenge. The referee's got the yellow card in his hand. It's continued here between Kroos and George Saville, who's got involved. Stephen Davis very sensibly is calming things down, and I think Paddy McNair is going to get booked. I'd be interested to see that again, Stephen Craigan.
I think Paddy's reaction tells you he's a wee bit flummoxed of why he's got a yellow card. I mean, he maybe just stands on his toe, but I think the reaction of Tony Kroos to get up, shove Paddy McNair, point to the referee, point to Paddy McNair, almost has put him into the book. So it's needless, and I really don't think it was deserving of a yellow card.
George Saville got to be a little bit careful there getting involved, sort of raised a hand towards Kroos. Nothing too serious, and it's good to see that sort of we are going to stand up to you from Northern Ireland. But also I suppose Kroos' reaction shows you Germany a little bit rattled as well. 0-0. 2 minutes to half-time plus a bit of added time. Jonathan Tah, the substitute centre-back, on the right-hand side. Here's Kroos again. McNair closes in. Stuart Dallas slips as he tried to get a little bit closer to Gnabry, who moves away from him. Kimmich works the pass out to the right-hand side. Infield to Gnabry. Gnabry laid off towards Brandt. Cleared. Kroos with the bouncing volley into the ground. Peacock-Farrell, good goalkeeping, saw it bounce, knew it was going wide, had it covered, just pulled his hands away at the last moment.
I think we've managed the last few minutes quite well. You know, the closer you get to half-time, that's where Johnny Evans and Craig Cathcart and Steve Davis, that little triangle in the middle of your team, they have to look after the game. Pull your players in beside you. Leave Connor Washington up the pitch. Don't go chasing the game. Get to half-time at 0-0, regroup, re-energise and get ready to go again.
Kroos and McNair just continuing a conversation. It looks a little more cordial this time. McNair is on the booking. Tony Kroos, I think, was saying, well, I thought you did it on purpose. McNair was saying, I didn't. We will never know. But the refs dealt with it. Stephen Davis, with his right foot, has just slightly overhit the pass away to the left to Niall McGinn. Throwing for Germany on that right-hand side. But I think Michael O'Neill will be more than happy if they get to half-time at 0-0. Possibly little disappointed that Connor Washington couldn't take that early chance, because when they come, chances like that, you really have to. But Northern Ireland going okay, and they've won another throw-in high up the field on the right-hand side. Germany causing themselves a problem there. Good pressure from the home team. It'll be a long throw from Stuart Dallas on the right. 20 seconds plus added time remaining at the end of the first half. Raucous noise inside Windsor Park. It'll go through the roof if Northern Ireland can get the ball in the back of that German net. Nice little 1-2 between Dallas and Corey Evans. Dallas fires it in. Neuer spills it. Must be from Washington. Oh, he can't scramble it over the line. Washington was on the floor. The ball fell to him, and he just tried to swing his right boot at it. He couldn't make contact, and that really should have been 1-0. Connor Washington has had 2 great chances in this first half.
He should have scored. Stuart Dallas does unbelievably well on the right-hand side. Fires the ball across. Neuer pops it out. Connor Washington falls over. He's swinging his leg. He's trying to make contact. He can't get up, and somehow Neuer manages to get it back in his hands. Big let-off for Germany.
Wow, the cross from Dallas was perfect because it was pacey. I don't think Washington was expecting Neuer to spill it, and he was sort of falling, Stephen, as he was controlling it. It really needed to just be whacked in first time. Had he been able to hit that sweetly first time, Germany would not have been able to stop that. What a chance for Northern Ireland late in the first half. Are Northern Ireland going to pay the penalty for that? Werner, oh, brilliant save from Peacock-Farrell at close range. Germany should have scored there, but that was wonderful goalkeeping from Bailey Peacock-Farrell, the 22-year-old, who was out like a flash, made himself big, and I guess those 2 golden chances now cancel each other out.
They absolutely do. I tell you what, an unbelievable save by Bailey Peacock-Farrell. I think Johnny Evans gets himself caught out. He gets caught too high up the pitch. It's a simple ball in behind him, and just when you want your young goalkeeper to make a save, he does it.
Very lively end to this first half. 3 minutes of added time. We've already played over a minute of that. Dark night skies all around Windsor Park at the moment. The floodlights just dotted at intervals along the roofs of all the modern news stands here. Schuler playing across to Halstenberg. Halstenberg blocked by Dallas. Referee says no and tells the German left back to get up. Schuler thinks about turning back to Neuer, decided against it quite sensibly. Kroos, Northern Ireland again chasing that ball inside the penalty area. Kimmich's got to be careful here. Plays the pass across the face of goal. Germany have done okay. Tarr towards Klosterman. Out to Royce, back to Klosterman. Brilliantly worked out. Really tricky positions for Germany there. Taking a few risks, but just trusting their talent and their skills to get it done. And now they've swept upfield, and Kroos has it on the left-hand side. 1 minute of added time remaining. Poor pass from Tony Kroos. Went too straight that. He was looking for the run of Brandt in from the right-hand side. He was never going to catch that. And the ball's gone behind for a goal kick, and it just gives us a chance to reflect on 2 wonderful opportunities for each team. Washington at one end just didn't get the contact he wanted, and Neuer was able to make the save, but what goal kick, and that is going to make Peacock-Farrell feel 10 feet tall, that save.
Well, you have to put into consideration he hasn't played a minute of football at Burnley this season, and that's a big issue for Michael McGovern at Norwich is not playing, Trevor Carson at Motherwell's not playing, so to make a save like that at such a crucial moment shows maturity beyond his years.
Half-time whistle will blow any second. The ball is loose on the halfway line. There we go. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. A rumbustious first 45 minutes. Connor Washington for Northern Ireland, Stephen, with 2 really good chances at the start of the half and at the end of the half. And I'm sure as he's marching off that pitch, I'm looking at him, and I know he can't think about chances gone, but in the back of his mind, he must be thinking, I should have taken at least one of those.
Well, it's interesting. Mark Chapman asked me at the start of the programme about, is he our best striker? And I said he's our fittest because he's played the most games, but he isn't a natural goal scorer. And I think you see that tonight. If that lands to David Healy back in the day, that's 2 goals. He just sniffs it out. He just senses where it's going to be. Connor almost responds after it happens, and that's a little difference. He gives you so much strength, power, probably ability to take us up the pitch, but that final little thing to go and score that goal, 2 big opportunities.
Yeah, and they so nearly conceded straight after the fabulous save from Peacock-Farrell has kept this game at half-time at Windsor Park. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0.
We'll be back with Ali and Stephen for the second half. Miserable first 45 minutes for Scotland at home to Belgium. Roddy Forsyth has all the details.
Class though by Kevin De Bruyne. You can't take your eyes off him simply because most Belgian play has gone through him in the first half. It began the rout in the 9th minute. Mertens playing a long ball down the flank to De Bruyne, scampered off with Lukaku all alone pressing into the Scottish box, and he got the perfect pass to finish and make it 1-0. Lukaku then had a flick off the outside of his left foot that happily for the Scots went over Thomas Vermaelen. Then from De Bruyne, a simple enough goal to make it 2-0. By this point the players in dark blue were looking crestfallen and the crowd was pretty silent. Tillemans from a slack pass by Cooper had a 25-yard shot that was wide with David Marshall beaten, and then at a corner kick Alderweireld off the undersaw of the crossbar with Scotland looking absolutely static. Pat Nevin, on the one hand I feel punch drunk, as do the Scottish players, as do the Tartan Army, but on the other hand we must give credit and admiration to where it's due, and in this case it's Kevin De Bruyne.
Well, first of all, say well done Robbie Martinez, who's got his team playing well. Tactically it's really good. They've let Scotland
tell them
draw
what you said
them
at the start that you hoped would happen.
Well, I hope they were slightly asleep, but they weren't doing that. They were just holding back. No, but to be honest, what Roddy's saying there is true. Chappers, we watch Kevin De Bruyne often. Tonight, it was one of those things where they made the break for the first goal. He got the ball inside his own half. And I almost felt it turning away. I said, well, this is a goal. Because you know he will make that pass. You know what it's like? There might only be a yard or two of space to get it threaded through, but he will make that pass. And that's the difference between him and the vast majority of footballers on this planet, and certainly in all the footballers playing in blue tonight, that he will always make the pass. He has been absolutely stunning tonight. Strangely though, keep on pointing to Roddy, Scotland, you see, can't keep their eyes off him. Scotland players seem to keep their eyes off him pretty well, leaving him masses of space all the time, and you don't do that with good players like him. 3-0 just now, and at 2-0 by the way, I said to Roddy, I'll take 4 just now. A minute later it was 3.
But that's the thing, Pat, isn't it? In fact, for all his brilliance, he has had a lot of space, and the other thing is, all 3 goals, the first goal came from a Scotland set piece, and the other 2 have come from Belgian set pieces. So, that will concern Steve Clarke.
Lots of things will concern Steve Clarke, plenty of things. Certainly he said that, the mistakes and the simple mistake that Scotland have made, they've made a lot of other mistakes apart from that, Chappers. They've made mistakes of giving the ball away. They now seem to have lost confidence in holding the ball in the midfield again as well, so they're getting overrun there as well. We could spend a lot of the next 10 minutes telling you what is wrong with Scotland at the moment. There is so much, but it goes back to that one thing that we talked about right at the top of the programme. There aren't enough good enough players at this level, and when you play against arguably the best team in the world, and I would say arguably the best team in the world, even without one rather good winger that they've got, they're miles and miles ahead of Scotland in every single area. I can't point a finger at Steve Clarke. I mean, he's played he changed the system tonight. He's played 4-2-3-1. So if you play 2 centred midfielders and McLean and McTominay, you think, okay, well, someone's going to kill that area where Kevin De Bruyne likes to play. There's nobody there. There's nobody doing it. They're absolutely posted missing. So, he's almost certainly said to him, look, that's the system, that's how we're playing, that's the place we have to kill. And then it's not been done. It's not baffling. It's just, against a good team, and we've got players that aren't able to, possibly even follow the orders that have been given.
By the way, Mark, just before we finish, we should say it's not as bad as it could be for Scotland. They lost 4-0 here last year. That was their worst result in 45 years. The only problem was it was Belgium who inflicted it.
Elsewhere in that group, Russia 0, Kazakhstan 0, San Marino 0. Cyprus 2 at half-time in those games. In the friendly this evening, Wales lead Belarus by a 1-0. Juliet Farrington.
Yep, it was Dan James as well. No surprise with it just after 8 minutes or so. After it was a brilliant run, though, by Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams back in the starting 11 for Wales tonight. It was James down the left, made no mistake on his right foot. Belarus restricted to a few chances against this changed Wales lineup from the 2-1 win against Azerbaijan. Not much has really happened since James scored, but just to say, really, the Azerbaijan game, the 2-1 win on Friday night in their qualifiers, Azerbaijan obviously taking 2 points off Croatia in Wales's qualifying group earlier today. So it's going well so far for Ryan Giggs tonight, and also that Slovakia and Hungary score line as well. And Slovakia, they're next up in qualifying next month for Wales.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Jules says, Azerbaijan 1, Croatia 1 full time. That Hungary 0, Slovakia 1. In Northern Ireland's group, Estonia 0, Netherlands 1. Elsewhere in Europe this evening, Latvia 0, North Macedonia 2, Poland 0, Austria 0. and Slovenia 1, Israel 0. In England's under-21s lead their Kosovan counterparts by a 1-0 at half-time. Phil Foden with that strike. We'll hear from Gareth Southgate before we head back for the second half of Northern Ireland, Germany. But first, coming up to 20 to 9 on 5 Live, and here's the latest BBC News.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The BBC News on 5 Live, I'm Jo Hornby. MPs have voted in favour of an emergency motion to force the government to publish details of its planning for a no-deal Brexit. It was brought by the former Attorney General, Dominic Grieve, and also calls for the release of messages about the decision to suspend Parliament.
The ayes to the right, 311. The noes to the left, 302.
The ayes to the right, 311. The noes to the left, 302. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Unlock.
That confirmation of the result from the Commons Speaker John Bercow followed his earlier announcement that he's standing down. He will go at the next election, or the 31st of October, whichever comes first. Here's the Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn.
This Parliament is the stronger for your being Speaker. Our democracy is the stronger for your being the Speaker. And whatever you do when you finally step down from Parliament, you do so with the thanks of a very large number of people.
Well, at the moment, MPs are debating the rule of law after legislation preventing a no-deal Brexit was confirmed today. Tonight, a second vote will take place on whether to hold a general election. Parliament will then be suspended until the 14th of October. In other news, 3 people have been killed in a shooting in the Dutch city of Dordrecht. Another person seriously injured. There are no suggestions it was a terror attack. Around 200,000 passengers have had their travel plans disrupted by the biggest ever strike affecting British Airways. Almost all flights are cancelled for 48 hours. Pilots want a share of the airline's profits. A man has admitted seriously injuring a police officer by running him over in his own patrol car in Birmingham. 29-year-old Mubashir Hussain had been stopped by PC Gareth Phillips for stealing a Range Rover Evoque last month. And Kylie Minogue's greatest hit set has become the most watched Glastonbury performance ever. An average audience of 3.2 million people tuned in to see her perform, beating previous highs set by Ed Sheeran and Adele.
Away from the live football, here are the other sports headlines this evening. England have named an unchanged squad for the 5th and final Ashes test this week at the Oval. Huddersfield have appointed Danny Cowley as their new manager. His brother will also leave Lincoln Nicky and come in as his assistant. And in hockey, Great Britain's women will play Chile in a 2-legged tie for the chance to play for the chance to qualify for the Olympics and defend their title in Tokyo next year. Britain's men play Malaysia, and the matches will take place in London in November.
こんにちは。世界中のラグビートップリーグの国々が集まるラグビーワールドカップがもうすぐ始まります。誰がウィリアム・ウェブ・エリスのトロフィーを獲得するのか、ここ BBC ラジオ5ライブでお聞きください。それではまた。
Rugby World Cup, Japan 2019.
Starts next week on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0 and Scotland 0, Belgium 3 in tonight's Euro qualifiers. England play tomorrow at St Mary's, taking on a Kosovo side who have been unbeaten since October 2017. Gareth Southgate's been talking to our football correspondent John Murray.
Do you sense that teams that you're playing and also teams around the continent are actually beginning almost to fear your England team?
Well, I think when you have the attacking players that we have, then at the back of your mind for any defence is that you don't want to leave them space, you don't want to give them time, you don't really want them running at you. So I think that might be a little bit different tomorrow in terms of the mentality of the team, because I think their unbeaten run has been based on real front foot aggressive football, and I'm not expecting that to change tomorrow. But on a broader base, yeah, I think we've got players that do cause the opposition headaches before we play them.
Yeah, and that's a great tool, isn't it? Because so many times in the past, England have talked about other teams. England would fear other teams, and I guess that's something that you wanted to bring.
Well, definitely. When you look at the players that have played for us, though, I'm not sure why we feared other teams quite so much. Maybe that was part of our issue, But certainly, it's nice that we feel confident, that we have belief in our group of players. But we're also recognising we've still got considerable progress to make to be a top team.
And you talk about the danger of a young team in terms of how long Kosovo have been on the scene since independence. There are some remarkable stories about how these players, the families, and this is recent history as well. I guess that's all part of it, isn't it? The collective feeling of nationality.
Yeah, I think we saw something similar when Croatia emerged on the football scene. There is something undefinable that those journeys as people and as individuals and the collective suffering of a nation, there's an undefinable quality that brings in terms of its passion and its resilience. And you could tell from the reaction of the stadium when they won on Saturday and during the game that patriotism is there and embedded in this team.
Gareth Southgate talking to John Murray, and as we were saying to Ian Dennis earlier, John, he isn't going to make changes for change's sake.
No, he's not. He said that he might freshen the team up a little bit. He said we don't need to, just got to get the balance right. So we're thinking about maybe Harry Winks to play in midfield, maybe switching the full-backs to bring in Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side and Chilwell on the left-hand side, but maybe not too many changes. So Maddison might have to wait again for his debut from the substitutes bench.
That's a bit unfair on him.
Well, it's been widely talked about, and this is very widely anticipated now, isn't it, Maddison to get his chance. But you see, Gareth Southgate will talk about the competition that there is in so many different places for this England team, and so he's just having to bide his time. Who knows? He might start the match, but I suspect not.
All the build-up from 7 o'clock tomorrow, England against Kosovo at St Mary's with John Murray and Ian Dennis. Scotland and Belgium just coming back out onto the pitch at Hampden. Scotland 0, Belgium 3. Wales back underway in their friendly at home to Belarus. They lead by a 1-0. Dan James with that goal. And I think, Ali, are the teams back out in front of you, or are they not?
Not quite. I wasn't quite expecting
sorry.
to come. They've got a mouthful of cookie.
All right, okay.
Yeah. They're just coming, Mark, and I've just finished the cookie as well, so we're ready to go when you are.
And now, are you really ready, or have you got that horrible bit where you could do with actually just swallowing the rest of the biscuit and having a quick glass of water before you start?
Give me 7 seconds.
Do you want me to talk at that time, or should we just listen to you drink water?
No, don't do that.
All right, Stephen, as you said at the end of the half, I still can't work out what Connor Washington was trying to do when that ball came across to him. Because he could have just put his foot through it, couldn't he? I mean, I've never been an international striker, but he could have just put his foot through it.
Well, he was trying not to score. That's what it looked like, unfortunately. Listen, that was probably our best chance of the half. We'd worked ever so well, and that's where I said to you at the top of the programme, he missed that little clinical side of his game, where when that one opportunity comes along in international football, you've got to take it. He's had 2 already, and you think other strikers may have taken it. So fingers crossed he gets a 3rd mark, and fingers crossed he actually takes it.
But they're holding their own at the moment.
They certainly are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be blown away by the opposition. It can frighten you a bit, but the players have showed no fear. Great aggression, great tempo. They have to keep it up, though.
Just the one cookie, was it, Ali?
It wasn't actually.
No, I didn't think it would
question. Be. No, it was actually the second. Well, Stephen turned his down.
Oh, right.
And I thought, well, it's just going to go to waste if I don't eat that. But the problem is there's still half of it left on the desk, but I can't eat it now because the second half is about to start. So I think George Cummins, our producer, will probably have that. And I think he had about 3 on the way up the stairs anyway.
All yours.
Thank you. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 0. I mean, Stephen, just watching Germany in that first half, at times you get that lovely free-flowing football and you really feel they could rip Northern Ireland apart. They look so vulnerable at the back still, I think, and take some risks back there, don't they?
They do, and I understand they want to play total football, but, there's playing with your head, playing with, being sensible rather than taking risks and encouraging Northern Ireland to press. So, I think they'll want to cut that out in the second half.
Right, back underway, second half. Ryan Babel, I see, has scored early in the second half for the Netherlands. They're 2-0 up away to Estonia, and Babel has got them both. So that will have an impact on this group table. Northern Ireland starting the night, having won 4 out of 4 on 12 points. Germany on 9 and Netherlands on 6. That would obviously put the Netherlands on 9 if they go on to win that game tonight. And at the moment, if this were to finish 0-0 or as a draw, Northern Ireland 13, Germany 10. McNair's on the turn. Was he brought down there by Halstenberg? Referee says no. The assistant referee had a good view as well, and the ball's gone behind for a goal kick to Germany. So Northern Ireland have 22-year-old Bailey Peacock-Farrell in goal, winning his 11th cap for his country tonight and making a brilliant, vital save right at the end of the first half, just after Connor Washington had missed that great chance. Stuart Dallas is at right back. Jamal Lewis, the 21-year-old, now playing in the Premier League with Norwich, at left back. Craig Cathcart and Johnny Evans, two very experienced centre-backs. Stephen Davis with Paddy McNair and George Saville alongside him in midfield. Paddy McNair on the yellow card for a challenge on Tony Kroos in the first half. Corey Evans is wide right. Niall McGinn on the left-hand side. And Connor Washington now playing his club football of hearts with two great chances in that first half. He couldn't quite take either of them, and that's why we're 0-0. Gnabry on the charge forward for Germany. Played to Halstenberg on the left. Oh, a lot of space here for Klosterman, the right back. Great save by Peacock-Farrell again. Low to his right-hand side. He wouldn't have seen too much of that either. There were so many bodies in the way. And once again, he's kept the door shut on Germany. What a game he's having.
It's another big save, and I'll tell you what, that was unbelievable play by Germany. They made probably 13, 14 passes up and down the pitch, get down the side left. I think it was Klosterman back post to right. Really good strike, but smart save by Bailey Peacock-Farrell.
Give you that Germany team again in just a second, but here they come. Germany in white shirts, black shorts, white socks. Klosterman's ball in from the right-hand side. Brandt jumps for it. Whoa, what a hit! What a hit from the left back, Marcel Halstenberg. His first goal for his country. He has struck that bouncing ball with his left foot, and Peacock-Farrell had absolutely no chance with that. It's gone rocketing into the top corner, and Germany lead at Windsor Park. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 1.
Do you know what? Sometimes as a goalkeeper you can make saves, you can stop things, or you can be disappointed when you don't get near it. Bailey Peacock-Farrell has absolutely no chance with that strike. And it's the two full-backs. It's Klosterman on the right-hand side. It misses everybody out. It bounces up about waist high. And that is as sweet a volley as you will see. He catches it absolutely perfect. Almost kicks down on top of the ball, Alison. It's right into that top corner. Windsor Park is silenced, but they just have to regroup.
The technique, Stephen, to hit a ball like that, coming across at not top pace, but a good pace. As you say, hip-high bounce. He's sort of falling away from it, but just focused on getting his body and his foot through it. That was a wonderful, wonderful finish from RB Leipzig's Marcel Halstenberg. A goal he will remember, his first for his country. And now Northern Ireland have it all to do. And now you really do feel, again, when Connor Washington missed those chances in the first half, you're always thinking further down the line that might come back to haunt us. But still just a goal down. They've had chances in the game. Manuel Neuer is on the ball, and Germany leading by a goal to 0. What's happening in Cardiff, Juliette Farrington?
It could have been 2-0 just a few moments ago, but Wales still lead Belarus by a goal to 0. 2-0 because Harry Wilson just hit the inside of the post and the ball just bounced out to safety. And this after Gareth Bale came on, replacing Wales' first half goal scorer Dan James. So a standing ovation for both as Bale came on and James came off. It was an absolute beautiful strike from Dan James. He only does good strikes, that gave Wales the lead 17 minutes into this friendly. Like I say, though, standing ovation for both. Wales doing well. They lead Belarus by a goal to 0.
Bailey Peacock-Farrell with a save here from Timo Werner. Another shot comes in from Klosterman, and he smashed it miles over the bar, and Germany are all over Northern Ireland in the early stages of the second half. Peacock-Farrell again to the rescue, his third excellent save. Werner trying to beat him from the angle. He stuck his left leg out. Another shot got blocked, and then Klosterman has just whacked that over the crossbar. But they're on the ropes at the moment, Northern Ireland.
You know, you just have to regain your composure, settle yourself down, slow things down when you get the opportunity, because, you know, you've still got, 40-odd minutes to get back in the game. Don't go chasing it, leave yourself exposed. But the Germans, you know, they've got the goal, they've got their heads up, you know, full of belief, and it's really close for a second goal. A big save again, as you say, from Bailey Peacock-Farrell. He's
having a great game, beaten by Halstenberg's wonderful left foot strike. Manuel Neuer in goal for Germany as Johnny Evans plays it back to his goalkeeper Peacock-Farrell. Klosterman, the right back. Halstenberg, the goal scorer, at left back. Jonathan Tah on as a first-half substitute for the injured Matthias Ginter, playing alongside Niklas Süle, Kroos, Kimmich and Julian Brandt as a midfield three, with Timo Werner, Serge Gnabry, former Arsenal player, and Marco Reus as the front three. To Hampden Park, ready for side.
And we are now 6 minutes into the second half. The dread scoreline up on the electric scoreboards. Scotland 0, Belgium 3. But Scotland have started the second half promisingly. I know we said they did that in the first half, and I know what happened. But Pat Nevin, any little scrap of cheer is welcome.
Yeah, and you know yourself, Stevie Clark settled out very, very early, didn't they? Long time before the Belgians. And yes, they started lively, but they need to try and keep that up. They've not been able to do that in the last few games. Great save there by Courtois from Robertson, and just before that, Mertens should have scored.
Germany are in again here. Brandt to Gnabry, who shoots just wide. Peacock-Farrell down quickly at his near post. They couldn't get the shot on target, but we have played just 6 minutes in this second half. Germany have 1 goal, Stephen Craig, and they could actually have had 3.
I think they're starting to flex their muscles. You know, they're full of belief. They're moving the ball well. Gnabry plays a good ball out wide to Brandt. He follows it again, and his expression says it all. He knows he should have scored. Northern Ireland, another let off. So again, just bring your team together. Johnny Evans and Craig Cathcart, bring your full-backs in, bring your midfield narrow. Don't concede a second, because if you do, Alistair, the game's gone.
We just cut Roddy and Pat slightly short there, but Belgium leading 3-0 against Scotland at Hampden Park. Hungary have equalised in Wales's group against Slovakia. That game is 1-1. Timo Werner's been called offside here. Slovenia 1, Israel 1 is a latest scoreline in Group G. I think Wales would love a draw between Hungary and Slovakia as well. Earlier on today, it finished Azerbaijan 1, Croatia 1. So that group table as it stands at the moment would have Croatia on 10, Hungary on 10, Slovakia on 7 and Wales on 6. So none of their rivals would really have made much ground on them while they're involved in friendly action tonight. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 1 here at Windsor Park. 7 minutes played in the second half, and Germany have come flying out of the blocks, as Stephen Craigan was just saying, flexing their muscles, showing us what they've got. And here come a few of the flicks and tricks, and Northern Ireland look wide open again, and the pass from Royce out to the left-hand side. Werner, Royce lays it off to Werner. Oh, Peacock-Farrell again. Full stretch, low to his left-hand side, tips it round the post for a corner. His 4th fabulous save in this game.
And I think it's his 3rd from Timo Werner. You know, he'd won in the first half, he'd won at the start of the second half, and there's another one, edge of the box, probably 18 yards out, right foot, great save down to his left-hand side by Bailey Peacock-Farrell. You know, I think you have to say we really are on the brink. We've got to be careful. We can't afford to concede the second goal.
Build-up play from Germany for that chance was mesmerising. Timo Werner did score a hat-trick in his last Bundesliga game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's been denied by Peacock-Farrell so far this evening. Kroos's corner in. Jonathan Tah gets there first, but volleys the ball mile over the crossbar. Goal kick for Northern Ireland, so they still only trail by that 1-0. 2 balls on the pitch. So Bailey Peacock-Farrell can't get it going just yet. But again, it reminds you as well, doesn't it, Stephen, that actually, player for player, man for man, it reminds you what Northern Ireland are up against in this German team.
It absolutely does. You know, I think Toni Kroos and Kimmich in midfield, you know, they always seem as if they've got lots of time in the ball, they can pick their pass. You know, Northern Ireland players can't get close to them, so that's hard to play against. You know, and Paddy McNair's chasing shadows at times, and George Saville's running about, using up a lot of energy. And then when you win the ball, I think sometimes players want to take a break. You can't. You've got to keep moving it on. So it's a tough 5 or 6 minutes. They've just got to hang in there.
Jonathan Tah, cross here to Klosterman, the right back. Volleyed pass forward, intercepted by Jamal Lewis, but Northern Ireland have given it straight back to Germany again. Northern Ireland in their green shirts, white shorts, green socks, with defending to do. Brandt flicks a little ball infield to Halstenberg, who was run off it by George Saville. He'll get booked for that. Free kick for Germany, shooting range in a central position from about 25 yards out, and they're just overpowering Northern Ireland at the moment, and they're almost sort of chasing shadows. And that challenge by Saville, he had to do it, didn't he, Stephen? He was away.
I mean, it just shows you the contrast of a goal. You know, Germany have got a real lift physically. They're moving things quicker. Northern Ireland look a little bit tired. They look jaded. You know, they feel a little bit sorry for themselves. But I think certainly in that left back here, Halstenberg has been absolutely terrific. The way he's getting up and down that left-hand side, his goal was terrific. He's a good player.
10 minutes gone second half. Kimmich stands to the right of the ball. Toni Kroos, hands on hips to the left. Marco Reus is in that sort of pose that suggests I'm hitting this. He's got that sort of Ronaldo, legs spread wide apart, focusing hard at the ball, waiting for the referee's whistle. Northern Ireland have a six-man wall here. Will it be Kroos or will it be Reus? Let's see. Reus steps up to it, over the wall. Peacock-Farrell flying to his right-hand side, palms it away and behind for the corner. One of his more comfortable saves, actually.
I think he'd gambled. He'd gambled that that's where Reus was going to put the ball. He moved his feet really well. He's full stretch. I think you're right. It was a comfortable save in the end, but it was certainly one he had to make.
So Germany corner. Second goal, as Stephen says, I'm sure will kill it. And they are well on top at the moment, the Germans. Kimmich. Cross to the right-back, Klostermann. Pacey pass to Tar, the centre-back. Big lumbering fellow who's found himself wide on the right wing, but he can play out there, looking for the little 1-2. With Halstenberg, the left-back, who's suddenly popped up in the inside right channel, and now Gnabry's in central midfield, so they're moving everywhere at the moment, Germany. Kimmich, right on the centre circle to Tar in his bright orange boots, wide into Brandt. Timo Werner wants the ball into his feet. It's actually played into Klostermann. Brandt gets another go on the dribble on the edge of the area. Just stopped in his tracks, but Germany have it again. Marco Reus turns and plays it to Kroos. Flicks the ball towards the far post. Peacock-Farrell comes off his line, shouts mine. Johnny Evans got there first, clears with his left foot. And Germany have it again. All Germany at the moment, leading Northern Ireland 1-0 here at Windsor Park. Slovakia now 2-1 up away to Hungary. So Hungary have pegged them back, but Slovakia have a second goal, leading 2-1. And Germany looking for a second here. Kimmich, wide to Halstenberg, crossing just over Werner. Brandt, almost with the scorpion kick with his left boot. The ball goes flying off it and wide to the right-hand side. Klostermann, back here to Kimmich. Chipped cross in towards the penalty spot. Cleared by Northern Ireland. McNair, wide to Dallas. Dallas's only option is to launch a ball down the right-hand side. Washington will chase, but there are two German defenders back there. Süle gets there first, back to Neuer, and they just do the classic 2v1 on Washington. And Germany have it again, and Northern Ireland at the moment can't get a kick, Stephen Craig.
I think we're stuck. We need to get a hold of the ball. As I said earlier, I think when we land in possession, we're almost trying to take a breather. You've got to move the ball quickly. The Germans are pressing high. They're full of confidence, absolutely. But you've just got to hang in there. Alistair, it happens sometimes. You have to defend deep. You've got to stick together and just hope you can get through it.
Pounce on the odd misplaced pass like that one, thrown for Northern Ireland on the right-hand side. Next qualifier in this group for Northern Ireland is the Netherlands away, so they don't get any easier. That's next month, 10th of October. That game's in Rotterdam. It's the only qualifier they've got next month. And then in November, when the group finishes, the Netherlands come here on the 16th of November and they finish in Frankfurt away to Germany. So that's how difficult it is for Northern Ireland. They put themselves in a fantastic position at the top of this group by winning all those games against Belarus and Estonia. But now the real tough challenges are here. And certainly at the start of this second half, we've seen exactly what that means from Germany. Gavin White of Cardiff City has come on for Northern Ireland, and he's replaced Niall McGinn. What's Gavin White going to offer, Stephen?
Well, he's got pace. He's an out-and-out wide player. He can take people on. He's a good ball carrier. And I think that's what we need at the minute. We're kind of hemmed in deep. We can't get up the pitch. So when you win it, you need someone to travel with it, and Gavin White can do that.
Cardiff City player, joined them from Oxford United this summer. Actually scored in his international debut after coming on as a sub just a couple of minutes into that appearance against Israel. This is 7th cap this evening, so let's see what he can do. Dallas with a header away for Northern Ireland. He gets the ball back on the turn, tackled by Reus, fouled by Reus on the halfway line. So Northern Ireland get the free kick. 15 minutes gone in the second half. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 1. Germany have won on their last 4 visits to Belfast since a 1-1 draw in a friendly back in May 96. And they've won the last 7 games between these two countries by an aggregate of 20 goals to 3. What's happening at Hampden Park? Ready for Scythe.
Scotland are promising again. That usually is the term I use to precede another loss of a goal, but actually it may be that Belgium are now playing well within themselves. They're leading by 3-0. Snodgrass just had a free kick a few moments ago. It was good. It was over the top of the defence, but just narrowly over the top of the crossbar, exactly when Scotland needed something to pert them up. At the moment, midway through the second half, it's Scotland 0, Belgium 3.
Timo Werner offside, free kick for Northern Ireland. England, Kosovo. Full commentary on that game tomorrow night, kicking off at 7:45 at the St Mary's Stadium. As England look to continue their 100% record in that group. The under-21 so far this evening, leading Kosovo by 1-0. Phil Foden has scored that one. Craig Cathcart with his ball floated down the right-hand side for Dallas to chase. Good pass from Dallas to Davis into the Germany penalty area. McNair goes down, and the referee says no penalty. Tony Kroos made the challenge. Cross comes in. George Saville lays it off to Stephen Davis. The ball was just behind him, so the move's lost a little momentum. Jamal Lewis is trying to keep that going down the left-hand side, closed down by 2 German defenders, and really doesn't have too much support. Can he win a corner? Yes, he can. Well done, Jamal Lewis. Be interesting, Stephen, to see the challenge that Kroos made on McNair, whether it should have been a penalty, possibly whether McNair should have received the yellow card for diving. If he got that, then he'd be sent off.
He went for his whistle. Alistair, you know, as soon as the contact was made or the challenge was made, he went for his whistle. I thought he was going to give the penalty kick. He kicks him. I think there's contact on Parry's right shin. You may beg to differ, but he certainly leaves a leg dangling.
Just seen 2 of those, 2 replays. We'll come back to that. Northern Ireland take their corner. Good cross in from Gavin White. Neuer opts to punch at the far post. Didn't actually need to. If he'd let that go, it would have gone behind for the goal kick. There was no Northern Ireland player behind him. He didn't know that, or he didn't get the shout. And Germany are able to play out. McNair stepped inside the challenge of Kroos. Kroos stuck his leg out. He dangled it out. And McNair, I think, was looking for that contact. Whether there was that contact or not, I'm not sure. Kroos says there wasn't. He thinks there should have been a booking for diving. And as I say, McNair is already on the yellow card. So, big moment in the game. Germany still leading Northern Ireland by 1-0. Jamal Lewis on the left-hand side. He's done well for Northern Ireland again tonight.
He's been excellent. You know, I think he's grown in stature. You know, he's playing in the Premier League. He's enjoying himself. He's playing against better players, bigger stadiums, bigger occasions. And you're right, he's really maturing into a very good left-back.
Stuart Dallas with pace down the right-hand side into McNair. McNair on the turn. Good pass. Here's Gavin White. Gavin White with a bit of pace down the right-hand side. Manages to beat Kimmich into the box. Lays it back. Shot comes in. Oh, it's dragged across the face of goal. Another great chance for Northern Ireland. And the shot goes flashing right across the face of Manuel Neuer's goal. It was Stuart Dallas up from right back, following on from his initial pass down the right-hand side. He caught the shot sweetly. He just couldn't quite find the bottom corner. What a run and what a bit of skill from Gavin White.
Well, that's what Gavin White brings. He's a direct runner. He's got a change of pace. I tell you what, for someone so young, a great vision as well and composure to pick out Stuart Dallas in the box, but Stuart Dallas drags it wide. Another let-off for the Germans.
Germans taking chances again, playing out from the back. They've done it okay, though. Corey Evans is in late with a challenge here on Halstenberg. Is he going to get booked for that? Let's wait and see. Referee will have a word. He doesn't seem to be going for the yellow card. Maybe the last chance that for Corey Evans. Final warning. Another little look here. Well, there's contact. Now, this is one Chris Sutton and I were talking about at the weekend, Stephen, is this sort of exaggerating contact. So Kroos puts his foot there. The 2 boots touch. Was it enough to make McNair go down like that? Yes, there was contact, but is he exaggerating that contact? Was it enough for there to be a penalty? Or do we say that any contact has to be a penalty?
Well, that's a big call, but the referee must have thought there was no contact. Or if he thought there was contact, you're right, he maybe thought that Parry exaggerated the fall. So, I mean, that would be a booking.
Yes.
You would think that would be a booking. So, thankfully, he didn't send Parry off, although I would rather have had the penalty.
19 minutes gone, second half. Germany leading 1-0. Northern Ireland still chasing this game. Marco Reus, his pass is short. Stuart Dallas is onto it like a flash for Northern Ireland. Here's Stephen Davis in the centre circle. Thought about going right, didn't like the option there, so he brings it to the left-hand side, and Michael O'Neill is pacing up and down that touchline as his team play right in front of him. Jamal Lewis was looking for George Saville down the left, but Saville was coming towards him rather than going away from him. Here Germany go again. They give it to Neuer right on his goal line. Connor Washington's in close, but not close enough to put real pressure on. Kroos gets possession just outside the penalty area, and Tarr plays it upfield, and this is where it suddenly becomes very smooth and slick. Kimmich to Brandt. Little 1-2 between those two. Good vision from Brandt, saw Kroos in space. Back to Kimmich, has got Jamal Lewis right behind him. Up the right-hand touchline to Klostermann. Good movement and passing from Germany here. Toni Kroos has the ball at his feet, conducting the orchestra. Plays it wide to the goal scorer, Haustenberg. 25 minutes to play in the second half. Here's Gnabry. Germans looking for this second goal to kill it and try and clinch the win. And they're just tiring Northern Ireland at the moment. They're keeping the ball and they're making Northern Ireland chase. 1-2 between Klostermann and Gnabry. Tarr into Kimmich, back to Tarr. Northern Ireland just can't get the ball off Germany at the moment. Brandt on the right-hand side. Again, plays back down the line. And here's Süle. Süle through the middle. Kimmich thinks he's seen a pass down that left-hand side. It almost came off as well. Jamal Lewis under pressure, just gets his clearance away in time. Klostermann heads it forward. Stephen Davis with a little volleyed pass to his left. Jamal Lewis is thinking long again, but he pings this one into the feet of Connor Washington. Does well to ride the challenge. Things open up a little for Northern Ireland on the right-hand side. You can sense the excitement in the stadium as this attack builds. Gavin White looks up, crosses deep, and Neuer's right underneath it and grabs it under his crossbar. Good vision from Neuer as well, because he sees Brandt is in loads of space on this right-hand side. But Brandt is just going to slow things down. What's Michael O'Neill going to do from here, Stephen, do you think? Do you keep pressing? Do you take more risk to try and get that equaliser?
I think you have to. I mean, he's slightly changed the shape. He's brought Corey Evans in from that right-hand side. He's chucked him beside Steve Davis as two holding midfield players. George Saville's now almost playing like a wide left, and that's not his position. I just wonder if he can look to the bench and maybe bring someone else on. Kimmich
has lost it on the halfway line. Kai Havertz is waiting to come on for Germany. Gnabry's broken play up. Cynical challenge and a foul on Washington. So Serge Gnabry goes into the book for Germany. First German player booked this evening. Here comes the change. Timo Werner is coming off and Kai Havertz is coming on. 20-year-old midfielder who plays for Bayer Leverkusen, winning his 5th cap and made a substitute appearance in the 4-2 defeat to the Netherlands on Friday night. He's an attacking midfielder, likes the ball at his feet and likes to get on the front foot. And he's just popped up on the right-hand side to begin with here, with Julian Brandt in the middle of the front three and Royce on the left. And Northern Ireland have lost the ball inside the Germany half. Brandt gives it to Royce, looks to his left-hand side. Gnabry in a bit of space here. Stuart Dallas runs across to cover. Gnabry with a step over, darts into the penalty. Showed too much of that to Dallas, who sticks a foot in and knocks it behind for a corner.
It's just the speed at which, you know, when Germany win the ball, they make 2-3 passes, they move it on quickly, they switch the play. I mean, Northern Ireland overcommit, Germany looking to pick them off, but that was excellent 1v1 defending by Stuart Dallas against Gnabry.
Israel got themselves 2-1 up against Slovenia. That is now 2-2. Germany have it on the left-hand side. It's played back to Kimmich, 30 yards out. Ball at his right foot, whips that cross in. Good one, and the header is just wide from Havertz. That was his first touch of the game, and he very nearly scored. Probably should have scored.
I thought it was in, if I'm honest. I just looked towards the net. It's a teasing little ball in by Kimmich. And I think it's George Saville who's challenging with him. Doesn't make a challenge. And Bailey Peacock-Farrell happy to see it drifting wide.
Northern Ireland have it again, attacking position on the right-hand side. Gavin White and Connor Washington trying to work it. They've lost it. Jonathan Tah and Manuel Neuer. Almost a miscommunication between the pair. Neuer was coming for that, but Tah decided to deal with it and clears to the halfway line. Josh McGuinness is getting ready to come on here for Northern Ireland, which seems like the right thing to do from Michael O'Neill. Still in this game, just over 20 minutes to play. And Germany leading by a goal to nil. Took that lead early in the second half. George Saville here has tugged down Lucas Klostermann. Free kick. Kimmich wants to go quickly. Referee won't allow that. So McGuinness has his chance to come on. And he will come on for George Saville. And Michael O'Neill comes over and gives Saville a high five and a big hug and says thank you very much for your efforts, because if you're up against that German midfield, you are going to have to run and run and run.
Well, he's another one, hasn't played a lot of football at Middlesbrough this season, so he tried to get some fitness on Thursday night against Luxembourg. You know, it was quite clear he was never going to last the full game. He was knackered. I think he'd done his tank in. So good decision by Michael. Josh McGuinness now a different proposition.
So Josh McGuinness has taken station up on the left-hand side. Stephen Davis is trying to bring his team just a little bit higher up the pitch as Germany start to play out from the back again. Into the last 20 minutes of the game. Belgium are 3-0 up away to Scotland. So it's going to be back-to-back qualifying defeats against Russia and Belgium, it looks like, for Scotland. In this month of fixtures as Germany comes sweeping forward. This looks very dangerous for Northern Ireland. Havertz, just a little layoff here to the right back, Klosterman. Klosterman slides the pass in and it's behind Royce. And Germany made a pig's ear of that because Royce and Brandt were waiting there on the left-hand side pretty much unmarked. And they couldn't get the ball to either of them. Wales still leading Belarus in that friendly by 1-0. Dan James with his second international goal this evening. Here's Havertz with his right foot to Klosterman, back to Kimmich. Kimmich wide to Klosterman, Germany controlling it again, just moving Northern Ireland around. Kimmich passing across the Northern Ireland half to Kroos. Kroos strokes his pass wide left to Brandt, who tries to beat Gavin White. He can't do it. White's not only tackled him, he's come away with the ball cleanly down the right-hand side. McNair's making a run. Schuler comes across to cover it, goes flying in and judged it well, slid in, took the ball and knocked it out for a throw. Good centre-back play. Let's hear from a former centre-back, Stephen Craigan.
Listen, it was terrific reading of the game. You know, I think Paddy McNair maybe should have just had a little look to see him coming, but Gavin White's been excellent since he came on. You know, his ball carrying, his defending, he's allowing us to get up the pitch, but we have to be careful. You know, as much as we want to go and get the equaliser, at times we're a bit open. We're still a little bit open for me. There's still plenty of time left to get it, so let's not go too early.
Throw in down the right-hand side. Paddy McNair into that Germany penalty area again. Good tackle by Tarr, big and strong. Wins the 50-50, knocks the ball behind for a corner. The opportunities are still coming.
Well, they are. And, you know, normally we are reasonably strong from set plays. We haven't really had a decent delivery tonight to allow us to go and attack it. So let's make sure this one counts.
Yeah, this is where the Northern Ireland of old, and in fact of quite recent vintage, actually was so strong. Gareth McCauley used to be such a threat. The Chris Brunt delivery as well was always fairly pinpoint. This is McNair on the ball. Players starting to make their runs. An away swinger. Johnny Evans is up for it. He is beaten in the air. Ball bounces out to Stuart Dallas. Just flicks it high. Underneath it's McGuinness. The offside flag is up. He was breaking to Stephen Davis, but the Germany defence had stopped. And so they will have a free kick and a chance to clear their line. Slovakia 2-1 up away to Hungary. Azerbaijan 1, Croatia 1. Has Wales' group with Croatia on 10 as things stand. Slovakia and Hungary now on 9, and Wales would be on 6. Wales' next two games, Slovakia away and Croatia at home next month. Throw in Germany on the left. The wind is just gusting up around Windsor Park at the moment. All those Northern Ireland fans decked out in the green replica shirts on their feet, urging their team on. As Kimmich plays the ball right up the middle of the pitch to Gnabry. Gnabry's pass back to him wasn't the best. Kroos takes control. 1-2 with Brandt. Kroos again on the ball, just inside the Northern Ireland half. Little give and go with Brandt. Then he sees the run from Klosterman down the right-hand side. Inch perfect pass, and Klosterman can't get proper contact on the pullback. He was looking for Gnabry in the middle, and Peacock-Farrell grabs it with both hands. It's a wonder goal that separates the two teams as well, because Peacock-Farrell's been fabulous in goal for Northern Ireland. It took something very special to beat him. Here's Stephen Davis. Northern Ireland inside their own half. Come back to their goalkeeper, all in orange, takes one touch and quickly gives it to Johnny Evans, who of course is very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Looking for someone to make a move for him. Didn't see anything ahead, so he comes back again to Peacock-Farrell. BBC Radio 5 Live at Windsor Park. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 1. Tomorrow night, England against Kosovo, as Jamal Lewis with his left foot plays down that left-hand touchline. McGuinness and Washington can't win the headers. There was a shove on McGuinness there, though. So Northern Ireland get a free kick. San Marino 0, Cyprus 3, and the Netherlands have a third goal away to Estonia. Memphis Depay has scored that. Ryan Babel got the first two. Havertz, little flick with his left boot to Gnabry, to Kroos. Gnabry again plays back to Klosterman, all the way back to Neuer. Connor Washington sprinting into that penalty area to try and put Neuer under pressure. Neuer plays his pass out. Kimmich back to Schüller. Schüller across the face of goal. It's close to Washington. He can't quite get there. Tar with a little side-footed pass. Gets it out to Klosterman, and Germany bring it away again with Havertz. Northern Ireland just getting back into their shape, and you sense just taking a slight breather at the moment. Got to be careful because Halstenberg's in good space on the left. Offside flag goes up. A chance for us to get back to Cardiff. Wales-Belarus being watched by Juliette Ferrington.
11 minutes left of this friendly. Still Wales 1, Belarus 0. The best chance in the second half from Gareth Bale, and even he was laughing at the end of it. It was a brilliant pass from Harry Wilson. Bale, the second half substitute, charging through one-on-one, sliced his shot from just outside the 6-yard box, well over the bar. He ended up in the net. Still 1-0 thanks to Dan James' first half.
Thanks, Jules. 15 minutes left here. Germany leading 1-0 against Northern Ireland. Netherlands 3-0 up away to Estonia. Were Germany and the Netherlands to win out in this group, win all their remaining games, obviously they would finish as the top two. There is still a chance. I was very nerdily working this out earlier on today, that even though Northern Ireland finished bottom of their Nations League group and don't automatically get a playoff spot, if a lot of those big nations, Stephen, qualify automatically, there is a chance that Northern Ireland could find their way into the playoffs. And I think looking at it today, if you actually swapped Northern Ireland and Netherlands at the start of play and put Netherlands at the top of the group, Northern Ireland would, as things stand at the moment, be in those playoffs. So it wouldn't necessarily be over. Cross in from Corey Evans is a good one. It's just beyond Josh McGuinness, who is slightly on his heels there. He's managed to keep it in play on the left-hand side. He's knocked it back to Lewis. Oh, Lewis has done well. He was looking for McGuinness. McGuinness was worried he was in an offside position, was coming back from the byline, and so he couldn't get onto the pass. Havertz, the 20-year-old, on the edge of his own penalty area, chips the pass out to Halstenberg, the goal scorer. Marco Reus starts to make a run, but it comes back to Schüller. Schüller to Kimmich. Kimmich with the outside of his right boot to Kroos. And Germany, you feel, I mean, they will obviously take a second goal if it comes, but just so comfortable, Stephen, aren't they, with the ball, and quite happy to take time out of the game and just make Northern Ireland run.
And it means we're being caught in between. You know, some guys are trying to press, some guys are not too sure should they go tight, so it's making us look a little bit untidy at times.
Well, Northern Ireland have won it back inside the Germany half. Dallas has overrun that. And Germany think about a counter. Gnabry into Kroos. Kroos closed down by Corey Evans. Oh, that's a poor pass from Germany, given away to Stephen Davis. Connor Washington on the turn. McNair makes the run ahead of him. Washington's kept it. Spins the ball out to the right-hand side. Nowhere for Corey Evans to go. He has to come back to Dallas, and Germany are able to get back behind the ball. Craig Cathcart inside his own half. Marco Reus in front of him. Good work from Cathcart. Curls his pass across to Jamal Lewis. Young left-back's got space in front of him. Cross into the penalty area. Kroos has a swing at it. The ball goes off his shin right up in the air. He's got lucky there, and it lands right in the arms of Manuel Neuer.
I just wonder, will Michael think of making a change as a centre forward? You know, Connor Washington, he's been alone all night. He's chased things. He's done his best, but you just think, just as I say, I think it's young Shane Lavery has got the call back. He spoke about him at the start, so this could be a magical night for him. Nice
little camera close-up there of a German striker of some pedigree who's working for one of the broadcasters here this evening. Goes by the name of Jürgen Klinsmann, who's watching the game here at Windsor Park tonight. 12 minutes remaining. Germany still leading by that goal early in the second half. Kroos pings one down the middle of the field. Jamal Lewis leaps to win the header. Corey Evans gets onto the ball. Stephen Davis looks up, sees an opportunity to try and get Washington away. Jonathan Tah read it, heads it away. Klosterman on the turn, lets the ball run past him. Gnabry lays it off to Kimmich. Kimmich to Kroos. Kroos looks left and right, sees Klosterman in space on the right-hand side. And Joachim Löw down there on the sidelines just calling the shots, moving his left hand and saying pass, pass, pass. That's exactly what Germany are doing at the moment. Can Northern Ireland get themselves one more glorious opportunity in this game? Connor Washington has had a couple. He's not been able to take them. If they get a third, they could possibly find a precious equaliser. And Michael O'Neill, I see there, Steve, is just trying to get his team up the pitch a little.
I think he's just, you know, sometimes Corey Evans is pressing and Josh McGuinness is standing off. Paddy McNair's pressing and Steve Davis is standing off. So it's trying to get that, you know, chemistry where everybody's going at the same time. And there's another example. Tony Kroos just free in the middle of the pitch and he's just picked us off.
Havertz slightly overhits the pass. He hit it with pace, actually, and Gnabry couldn't control it. It might have been Gnabry's fault, that, actually. His touch wasn't quite good enough. And Shane Lavery is on his way, the 20-year-old who plays here for Linfield, who'll be winning his 3rd cap this evening, who's going to be very direct, very quick. Let's see what Germany make of him. 10 minutes to play, but Germany have really taken the sting out of this in the last 5 minutes or so. It's probably the quietest we've heard the stadium so far this evening. Belgium still 3-0 up away to Scotland, scored all those goals in the first half. Ball is back with Süle. Süle just inside the Northern Ireland half, plays a little 1-2, gets it back again. They'll come all the way back to Noyes outside his penalty area. Washington senses an opportunity. Noyes too quick for him, takes a touch, plays the pass to Tarr. Another goal at Hampden Park. Roddy.
I hardly need to tell you who got it. He made all the others. This time Scotland decided to draw him into a false sense of security by leaving him all on his own on the far side of the box. Yes, it was Kevin De Bruyne. He made 3. He scored 1. Right-footed, simple pass Marshall. It had an air of the utterly inevitable Pat Nevin.
And it's a beautiful finish as well. I mean, you almost take it for granted he can do that from that left-hand side, curl around the goalkeeper. And Scotland looks as if they're doing quite well up until now. Thing is, we're playing at half-pace Belgium just now, but even so, that's enough to be 4-0 up.
They think it's all over. It definitely is. Scotland 0, Belgium 4.
Belgium going to 6 wins out of 6, taking them to 18 points in Group I. Russia and Kazakhstan is still 0-0, so Russia would go to 13, Kazakhstan on 8, Scotland on 6. Long ball downfield from Northern Ireland's keeper Peacock-Farrell. McNair gets onto the loose ball, goes barging into 2 German players. But Germany have the ball back with Kimmich. Here he is in the centre circle. Little short pass up the middle of the pitch to Brandt. Brandt to Havertz. Back to Brandt again. Fuller running still. Lays it off to Kroos. Kroos to Gnabry. He's playing with a white strapping around his left wrist. Lavery's been waiting there for quite a while here. Can't get onto the field for Northern Ireland. Offside flag is up. So here's the chance, and from what you said, Stephen, he's going to get a big ovation as he comes onto this pitch, isn't he?
Well, I think you can hear the fans already. They're standing up. I think it's appreciative of Connor Washington, but for young Shane Lavery, you know, they know he's different, they know he's a buzz bomb, he can light the place up. The Germans will have no idea who he is or how he plays, so let's hope he can upset them.
20 years old, and he really does look like a young lad. We got the camera close up there. Fresh face, shirt untucked, number 22 on his back, winning his 3rd cap tonight, replacing Connor Washington, who particularly right at the end of that first half, when Neuer palmed the ball into his path, he was 3 yards from goal, just needed to sweep that into the back of the net to give Northern Ireland the lead. A case of what might have been for them this evening. Trailing 1-0 and still looking for this equaliser. Gavin White's made a difference since coming on. He's lost the ball on the right-hand side. Northern Ireland will have to be alert to those counter-attacks. Here's Kimmich. And here is Lavery, running hard and fast at Neuer. Neuer with his right foot. Plays it to Süle. Kimmich has 3 Northern Ireland players around him on the edge of the penalty area. Didn't panic. That's a good flick on to the left-hand side. And here's Brandt. Gnabry making a run to his right. Royce to his left. He's going to use Royce. Royce in the penalty area. Curls the ball back. Havertz takes a touch, brings it down and shoots. And Jamal Lewis gets there in time to make the block. And it's behind for a Germany corner. Stephen Craigan.
Well, that was a wonderful counter-attacking move by Germany again. They win the ball in their half. They move it quickly. And I think it's Havertz who eventually ends up having the shot at the back post. But you're right, Jamal Lewis defended the back post well, and yet again keeps Northern Ireland alive.
Emre Can is waiting to come on for Germany. Just getting some final instructions as to what his role is going to be to play out these last 7 minutes plus added time. Corner for Germany. Toni Kroos, deep breath. Short steps towards the ball. Away swinger. Headed away by Corey Evans. Nodded down by Kimmich. Corey Evans fouled by Gnabry as he tried to get Northern Ireland moving quickly out of their half. And now the chance for the Germany change. Marco Royce is coming off. And he's getting the boos and the jeers and the whistles at the moment. And it will be Emre Can who comes on. So that certainly is a sort of solidifying substitution, isn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, I think it's just to make sure that there's any set plays that I think Emre Can just gives that extra bit of physicality, that extra bit of strength defensively. But, you know, right in the middle of that pitch, just sit tight, just allow the wide players to go and don't move.
We wondered whether it might be one of those magical nights. It doesn't look like it's quite going to be that. Don't forget Michael O'Neill saying earlier this week that actually even if Northern Ireland managed to get a point against this Germany team tonight, it would rank right up there as one of the great results. And that's still very possible. 6 minutes to play. Manuel Neuer has the ball in his hands. For once he's going to go long with his right foot. He's aimed it at Brandt. It's just over the head of Brandt. Cathcart was jumping with him, and the ball's gone out for a throw into Northern Ireland on the right-hand side. I think I'm right in saying that the plan is from 10 o'clock this evening on 5 Live, bearing sort of big political news. We'll have a bit of Tuffers and Vaughan for you through until 10:30. Looking back on the Australia retaining the Ashes at Old Trafford, and the 5th test to come shortly, which England need to win to level the series. So their thoughts coming up for you on that. Also available as a podcast via the BBC Sounds app. Northern Ireland still looking for this equaliser, but Germany have the ball and totally in control. Gini Wijnaldum has a 4th for the Netherlands away to Estonia. So comfortable win for the Netherlands there. Will take them to 9 points. Germany are going to 12 here. Northern Ireland are sitting on 12. Neuer just took a little bit too long there. Lavery closed in. Süle is under pressure. Plays it to Kimmich. Now if Kimmich is tackled here, he's in real trouble. He goes dancing away from that, being chased down by Corey Evans, and Germany get the ball away. Northern Ireland win the throw.
I mean, that is risky football. He's literally going towards his own goal, Kimmich, with 3 Northern Ireland players trying to take the ball off him. So, I mean, it is good composure, but it's certainly risky.
Davis. Now White, way down the right-hand side. Dallas's cross took a little flick, and Manuel Neuer, solid as a rock, grabs it with both hands at the near post. 3.5 minutes of the 90 to go, plus added time. Germany closing in on this 1-0 win, and it means that incredible statistic will remain, that in their history as a nation, they still won't have lost back-to-back qualifiers for major tournaments in 197 games of football. Emre Can on the right just holds the ball up deep in Northern Ireland territory underneath the studs of his right boot, then plays a 1-2 with Gnabry. Not too interested in looking forward here. He goes back to Kimmich. Kimmich plays the 1-2 with Havertz. Germany just running this down, and moving away from goal is Kimmich again in the centre circle. On the turn to Havertz. Havertz has been tackled. Northern Ireland win it back. What can they do with it? Dallas with a little trick in midfield. Almost overhit the pass. White had to stretch to try and control it. Couldn't do it. Julian Brandt gets onto it for Germany down the left. Gives it to Kroos. Naughty challenge on Kroos from Stephen Davis. And that'll be a free kick to Germany. Tired Northern Ireland legs out there at the moment, Stephen.
It certainly is. And, I'm just sitting thinking, could we have put any more into the game? And I don't think we could have done. We created our chances, we pressed high. Yes, we've left ourselves exposed at times, and the Germans have picked us off. But, it's been a really top performance. The players have stuck in there. It's just when you need that little bit of luck, it didn't come our way.
Late goal for Russia at home against Kazakhstan. So that cements second place in that group for them. Belgium will be going to 18 points. They're 3-0 up at Hampden Park. Russia, if they win, will be going to 15 points. Those two in good shape in that group. Emre Can's overrun it. Stephen Davis comes back to try and win it. Klosterman has it, though, for Germany. Still inside the Northern Ireland half. And we've ticked over into the 89th minute of the game. Kimmich chips the ball down the right. Klosterman will get there in time. Closed down by Johnny Evans. Cross hits Evans on the knees and bounces out for a throw-in to Germany on the right. 4-0, I beg your pardon. Yeah, 4th goal for Belgium. How could I forget Kevin De Bruyne? Made 3 and scored 1. Scotland 0, Belgium 4. Klosterman with the throw for Germany. Back to Kimmich. Heading towards the 90th minute. Lavery with pace. Quickly onto Jonathan Tah. Then he goes chasing after Süle. Then he decides to stop the chase as Süle comes back to Neuer. 2 touches with his right boot, and then Neuer chips it up towards the halfway line. Havertz chests the ball down. Willowy attacking midfielder in his bright yellow boots. Bit of space for him on the right-hand side. Chan makes a run ahead of him. Ball across midfield. Kroos won't catch it. Chance for Gavin White to try and get away from Kroos. Kroos slid in. Kimmich also slid in and wins the ball for Germany. Will they find a second late in the game? Emre Can shoots, big deflection, and behind for a corner to Germany. And Germany have certainly stepped it up second half in terms of their performance in this game, Stephen.
I think you're spot on, you know, the way they've moved the ball. But I think Northern Ireland, by over-committing forward, you know, once you start pressing individually or you leave people free in the middle of the pitch, you know, good sides pick you off. And the Germans have just waited for Northern Ireland to come on. They've played little 1-2s round about them. The game's wide open, and that's how Germany want it to be.
Corner for Germany then, heading towards added time. Can't think there'll be too much of that either. Tony Kroos is getting ready to take it. Havertz is there. 3 minutes of added time we've got, so that's all Northern Ireland have got left to try and find an equaliser. And so far, all they've been undone by is Marcel Halstenberg's stunning left foot shot. And it's not really a volley because he hit it after the ball had bounced, but it was high enough to be a volley. Hit height, sort of leaning away from the ball. Found the top corner, and Peacock-Farrell could do absolutely nothing about it. Still fantastic support from the Green and White Army here inside Windsor Park. They know exactly how much effort has gone into this performance tonight, and Northern Ireland have had chances to get goals in this game. Here's Schüller for Germany. Northern Ireland have to get the ball somehow now in the next couple of minutes. They can't just let Germany knock it around. Klosterman flicks a header forward to Havertz. This is a chance for Stephen Davis to get it. Volleys the pass back to Cathcart. Cross to Johnny Evans, closed down quickly, lays it off to Davis. Davis spins a pass out to the right-hand side. Northern Ireland fans still believing here. Dallas thought about the long ball towards the edge of the box. Plays the 1-2 with Gavin White. It's worked. And now Dallas down the right tried to nutmeg. Now the defender there didn't quite come off. Germany are able to play it out. Julian Brandt with a little flick pass here to Kroos. Back upfield to Brandt. Germany have given Northern Ireland the ball back with just under 2 minutes to play. Peacock-Farrell plays it to Johnny Evans, who's in the right back position. Full-backs are forward. Stuart Dallas certainly is for Northern Ireland on the right-hand side. Can they use him? Cathcart down that line to Dallas. Dallas goes long now. Diagonal ball to the edge of the box. McGuinness is allowed to nod this down. It almost fell to Lavery, and Northern Ireland going to get a late corner. Neuer keeps it in play and is then able to pick the ball up. Northern Ireland fans complaining it was a back pass. I don't think it was.
But I'll tell you what, you know, how vital is Manuel Neuer? You know, he's an extra player at the back. He takes the ball, he starts play. Very good.
Germany sweeping forward on the counter. Havertz looking for Gnabry. Angles tight. Oh, what a finish. Serge Gnabry with yet another goal for Germany. Ties this up at Windsor Park. 9 goals in 10 German caps for him. Lethal finishing from Serge Gnabry. And Germany have their win. Northern Ireland 0, Germany 2.
I tell you what, you have to, you know, look at his little diagonal run. Craig Cathcart's tired, there's a lot of space in behind him. Gnabry just makes a clever little run, keeps himself onside, and just when it looks like it's a really tight angle, yeah, quite clearly onside we can see from the monitor, and then it's a really smart finish. Under Bailey Peacock-Farrell, a little bit unfair on Northern Ireland.
Too good in the end, Germany for Northern Ireland. Their celebrations continue, not much time left in the game. Is it all over at Hampden Park, Roddy?
It is. Scotland 0, Belgium 4. It was a masterclass by Kevin De Bruyne. The goal scored by Lukaku, Vermeulen and Alderweireld, and then eventually by De Bruyne himself. Could have been worse, bad enough. Scotland 0, Belgium 4.
Bit grim for Scotland, that. Reaction to come either live on 5 Live this evening or in the 5 Live Football Daily, which will be available for you as a podcast tomorrow morning via the BBC Sounds app and your usual podcast providers. That is that at Windsor Park. Michael O'Neill looks ruefully across the Windsor Park pitch because he knows Stephen Craigan. His team have been beaten, you'd have to say by a superior team, but I think the frustrating thing is a couple of great chances for Connor Washington to get Northern Ireland in front. And I guess also the penalty shout in the second half. Now, to me, that didn't look like a penalty, like a trip on Paddy McNair, but different people would call it differently. But in the end, Germany have the win.
Listen, I think the longer the game went, you know, the more it suited Germany. There was more spaces to play in, there was more gaps. Northern Ireland were a little bit disjointed, pressing at times. But, you know, I think the energy, the application, the desire of the team, and you're right, when you get big opportunities in big games against very good sides, you know, let's be honest, Germany are still a world-class side. You have to take them, you have to be clinical. We weren't in the first half, and when the Germans had their opportunities, you know, simply they punished us.
Yeah, a stunning first goal early in the second half from the left-back Marcel Halstenberg. Serge Gnabry just rounding it up with a neat little finish from a tight angle in added time to win the game. Full time at Windsor Park, Northern Ireland 0, Germany 2, and now Northern Ireland need to steel themselves next month for the challenge of the Netherlands away. Mark.